know what it is. It's the people's house. Big Zeus. It's the people's house.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Big Zeus. Pull up to the gate at 1600 on the map. Yeah.
Supposed to be the people's house. I make it like a trap.
Marble floors and chandeliers. I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people. Yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team. Red and white and blue.
That's me. That's me.
Voices on the block. I'm breaking through. I got the keys. I'm in the lobby. Yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Yeah.
Signing for the fam. Yeah, you know my game's strong. Feed him is the banner, and I got my chain. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Special show. You felt it, Eugene? Big pharma, big tech, turn your dreams to bags. I'm the voice of the hood. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't letting up on MAGA, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus. Big Zeus. Powers in the air. You can make songs like this besides Big Zeus. We wanna hear your song. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People are them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600 got my soul.
My portrait on the wall, they staring at me like I'm cold.
Greatest story ever told. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Yeah, I decided to come back because it's been a crazy week and I didn't spend enough time with all of y'all. So this is what we're here to do. Good morning, Melissa. Marissa, I should say. So sorry. Good morning, Rick. Nice to see you.
No stains on my kicks and the rally outside and the gates is locked.
This power never divides. Sometimes I surprise myself. You're watching from Maryland? Thank you. Drew, good morning. Got the power, get it back. Money talks loud, time to clap.
Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house. Powers in the air.
Saturday morning, all right, we'll get you in and out as quick as we can. Don't worry about it.
It's the people's house.
We want to hear your soul, Big Zeus.
Big Zeus.
All right, let's get this show started. All right, I don't got all morning to do this. Happy Saturday. All right, happy Saturday. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday. I'll be back.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass.
Cars in the garage, the tanks full of gas.
Rick.
So I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room, screaming how we made it.
Yeah, y'all didn't know I was gonna pop up like Jack in the Box. That algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess they go viral cause my zodiac.
Got all these numbers on my spaceship.
You're okay. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie.
And if they use my ex,
Don't get in here.
all
Alright.
They don't give me plies if they ask
After
me.
this. Alright, here's my favorite part of the. Here's my favorite part. Listen up. Oh, really?
Call me the master with a new whip.
Okay, here it goes.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's life.
Lies.
That shit was radical.
Oh, please.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off.
Oh, that was Kimmy. That was Kimmy the other day. I'm going off the rails.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
All right, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show once again. We are back in the Thunderdome weekend show. I'm your host, I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are gathered. You know what I do. I'm the Rizzler in a way, and I realized, I was like, well, you know, you can't just stop practicing, and you can't let up on these folks out here who are hell-bent on destroying our great country of ours. And so with that spirit, I'll continue to do what I can, all right, in order to make change actually happen. So that's a huge W. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, especially if you don't get to see me Monday through Friday, let me introduce myself. I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? It was quite simple. The first H is, it's well because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. Hands down, no one more honest than me. The second H, it's because, guess what? I'm humble. Listen, nobody's more humble than me. If I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, all right? Because I don't think of it as a sign of weakness. I actually think of it as a sign of strength. And then the last and most important H of all of them, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am and will always remain, what? You've guessed it, the most handsome. I told you. Now, many of you know exactly what we do over here on this side of TikTok. What we do is spectacular, it's magical, it's theatrical, it's sensational, it's diabolical in a way, all right? What we do is we hold this guy that's, the most dangerous, corrupt politician that we've ever seen, ever in history, honestly. I've never thought we would see this in the United States because I used to grow up and I used to think America was a place where, for the most part, people wanted to do right. But ever since this guy came down the golden escalator, so to speak, and MAGA knows what I'm talking about, I've realized that's all, the American dream. It ain't nothing but an American nightmare right now. What we're doing is we're holding a mirror up to Donald Trump and his supporters, and making sure that they understand, number one, stop it. Number one, just stop it, right? All your fear mongering, your BS tactics, the constantly being in a victim cycle, all of that is no longer going to work. All right, you actually, Donald Trump and all of the people that are in the cabinet, y'all not going to get away with not doing the work. All right, because one thing I've learned over the years is nobody likes to see people get paid without actually delivering on results, right? And so what we'll do is, I go through a little bit of what I understand is going on, and then, I get straight down to business and we do things, we got tools in the tool shed, so to speak, to deal with the MAGA demon. And so what I'll say is this: are there any Trump voters out there? Anybody out there still worshiping Donald Trump? Look at him. Look at him, Asler. Asler, you should change your name because you wrote "is on" now. And I could just tell you're not from the United States when you gave yourself that name, but you should say "it's on," IT' on now. That way, grammatically speaking, you would actually look like someone that doesn't need to get deported. And so what I'll do is this, because we got a Trump supporter out there. He can't spell correctly. He says he spells words like he talks, which is really embarrassing. And he doesn't understand. Donald Trump would look at him and say,
you're either stupid or you hate the country.
Okay, so what I'll do is this. If you don't want Big Zeus to hurt your feelings anymore, like I just did Asler's, leave this show and you can go hang out with these fake TikTok hosts because they will lie to you. But over here, I don't have a reason to lie to you. I could care less if you like me, all right? But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they've officially closed, and I take no responsibility or accountability for how the sparks start to fly, and I just tell my mutuals, grab your shields, grab your weapons, because these demons, they're going to try everything they can to try to escape being held accountable, but we're not going to let them W Zeus. So the first thing that I want to bring to the American people's attention is it's something that we're just going to have to keep hammering home, ladies and gentlemen, and it has to do with something that MAGA doesn't want to actually acknowledge, but we're going to get this on the record. And what is that, Zeus? We did kick some butt this previous election cycle on Tuesday, and by no stretch of the imagination should we start doing victory laps, because we have a lot of work left. We have a lot of work left. The cult, right now, we're finding out that those who remain in the cult, these are the people who really have surrendered their lives to Donald Trump. And so one thing I want to make sure we address is this. Are we all on the same page? Good morning, Scorpion. Thank you. Are we all on the same page about why the cost of groceries are high in this country? Who is responsible for the high cost of living in the United States as of today? What is today, November 8th? Who is responsible for it? Joe Biden or Donald Trump? I just want to double check. Let's see. I'm looking at the audience. All right, everyone that. All right, all of you who wrote Republicans, Trump. That is the correct answer, and I'm just going to get this on there as well. Fox News said the same thing.
This, as a new poll finds, about 70%.
Uh-oh.
Can say groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago, and about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
And actually, I don't think Fox is being honest. I really do believe that Fox is making these numbers not seem as bad so that Trump doesn't really lose it, because they're afraid of him too. But I would say this, and I could probably, if I were to roll the dice and bet on it, because I'm not a gambling person, but I would say 99.9% of Americans understand a couple of things. Number one, they understand a tariff is a tax. All right, no matter what Donald Trump says, China's going to pay it, Canada, they understand now that the tariffs are a tax, and it's a tax placed on us, the American people. And they also understand when they go to the grocery store, they understand that things are still costing way more than sleepy Joe Biden ever had them. Because when Donald Trump was running, he said he would immediately bring down the cost of the groceries. Groceries, he said, it was such a simple word. Remember, he did the whole publicity stunt. He brought he brought some bacon out. I saw this. He did it at his Bedminster golf course or whatever, his property at Bedminster. He brings out the bacon. He brings out the eggs. And then he did something that I would say is definitely worthy of him going straight to hell. And I'll send him there. I believe I remember he brought out a box of honey bunches of oats to cereal. That was actually one of my favorite cereals growing up. And when he did that, I knew we were in deep trouble, because I knew his base would fall for it, right? Because they fall for everything Donald Trump says. And so here we are now, November 7th, 2025. The man's been in almost 11 months or so, maybe a little under. And everything costs more. I'm lying? Hey, you think I'm lying? You think I'm lying, hey? I promise you. Oh, hey. Send me a guest request, hey. Send me a guest request. I promise you. Do I have any Trump voters out there that think I'm lying? Hey? Yeah. Okay, that's a demon right there. Hey, demon. Let me go ahead and do something that I've been itching to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let me warm up this lake of fire for that demon right there. Obviously, we have a demon in our audience that loves paying high grocery prices, loves not having health care, right? Loves the fact that Donald Trump is robbing them blind. Well, guess what? Do us all a huge favor and go straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Hi, Tyler. How are you doing this Saturday
Not
morning?
not too bad, not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Would you happen to be a Trump voter?
I'm a Trump supporter, but not voter. But either way, what's your definition of a cult?
Anybody that surrenders their soul to somebody else that's a human being and goes along with everything they say without questioning it and willing to risk their life, liberty, and freedom, even at the point of humiliating themselves and doing just disgusting things you would never ever think they would do. And they profess to be everything in the book, like they profess to be Christians, right? They profess to
Can
actually
you
care
stop
about.
rambling on? This is no longer a definition. You're just literally
Oh.
fucking, yeah. So,
Listen,
anyways,
can you not
where's
curse?
the evidence?
Can you
Yeah,
not at
where's
least
the
curse on my show?
evidence? Where is the evidence that people are surrendering their souls to Trump?
Let me ask you a question.
No,
Honestly.
don't answer a question with a question.
Okay,
That's
fair
fallacious.
enough. I'll give you an example. Is that fair?
Give me evidence that they are surrendering their souls to Trump.
Okay, so I just
Where
said
is that?
Well, you want to go talk about January 6th?
Does that mean that they're surrendering their souls?
Yes.
No, it
Because-
doesn't.
So let me
No, it
explain to you.
doesn't.
See, Tyler, I'm so glad you don't get it.
Wait, do you believe in a soul?
Yeah. But Tyler,
Yeah,
can
okay,
you
so
stay
where's the
focused?
evidence they're surrendering their souls, though?
Okay, listen. I don't want to start
You're not
yelling.
going to give evidence
No,
for
I
it?
don't want to start yelling and stuff.
You don't have to yell to give evidence.
Okay, so if I'm asking you a question or you're asking me a question.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay, then you need to let me finish answering it before you open your big mouth.
Yeah. Give
Fair
evidence
enough?
of
Fair
their
enough?
souls being
No.
surrendered.
Fair
Yeah,
enough?
fair enough. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm giving you critical information. I just stated, and don't interrupt me, please. When a person surrenders their life, their liberty, and their freedom to
You said
another,
their soul, not their life and liberty.
I haven't
You
even
said
gotten.
soul.
I haven't even gotten into.
Yeah,
this.
but you already messed up with your answer.
So Tyler, you have a problem controlling yourself. If I have to ask you to control yourself again, bro, I'm just going to drop you. Because I do want to have the conversation, but what I'm not going to allow is the steam rolling. You know, I've spoken to several demons before you. You're not the first and you're not the most brightest. You get what I'm saying?
Well, give evidence I'm a demon.
Look at you right now. You can't even control yourself.
You
Donald
just have
Trump.
to look, have to look at someone to prove that they're a demon.
This guy right here, Tyler. Tyler, we got.
I'm so stupid, bro. This is hilarious.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What
Why?
do you think
'Cause you
happened?
can't answer questions. You still haven't given evidence I'm a demon. You haven't given evidence that people have surrendered their souls. You said that they are surrendering their life and liberty, but is life and liberty a soul?
It's part of it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, explain that. Demonstrate how that is.
No, because I wasn't there yet.
Oh, you're not gonna.
No, because you know what? You're looking for an answer,
You're
and
getting found right now.
and what I understand is Tyler thinks he's the smartest person on
You
TikTok.
talk out of your ass, and when someone presses you on it, you can't fucking demonstrate.
Well, listen, that's
it.
your second time cursing, right?
Cry about it.
So here's the thing, Tyler, and I know this is a waste of both of our time, right? I could do so many things to you to just do a number on you, but I'm not. I really hope
Kick me.
Huh?
Mute me and kick me. You mute or kick and you lose.
Okay,
that's
well,
that's how that works.
Is that what they're saying on TikTok now?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right, Tyler. Well, here's this. Let's see how that works.
Bill.
Now I'm gonna minister to you, Tyler. And if you can't handle it, Tyler, you know what? I'll do it this way. Maybe I'll do it this way, Tyler. Now, Tyler, you could come on back up here when you can control yourself, all right? And ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I am talking about. Tyler is so far behind the 8 ball, so far uneducated, that all he wants to do is get up here and put on display what I've been saying all along is the most disgusting and biggest threat to all of us in the United States. What is it, Zeus? It's the fragile white male ego. That was it, fully on display. Could you imagine living in the same habitat as Tyler? Tyler, you asked me a question, how do I know it's a demon? Well, because demons tremble when truth is around. And I could hear it all in your voice, champ. You were trembling. You were totally scared. You were so scared, you wouldn't even let Big Zeus say anything about what was going on with you. I'll say it, it's a cult. Explain to Big Zeus why over thousands of Trump voters ended up in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. I guarantee you can't honestly answer it, but I'll tell you why. It's because they became vassals of transgression for Donald J. Trump. They actually believed everything Trump said. He said the election was rigged and it was stolen. And you remember Ashley, they call her Ashley Babbitt. You know, I hear these content creators talking about Ashley Babbitt was the victim. No, she was not the victim. She was a domestic tea, and she would have never been there if she wouldn't have been listening to Sleepy Don, the con artist, the biggest con artist we've ever seen, Tyler. I know I'm hurting your feelings, Tyler, because no one has ever told you you're a sick and, you know, very, very terrible person because you don't truly understand. You don't truly understand that the jig is up, all right? Everyone in America understands right now, for instance, grocery prices are through the roof, utility costs are through the roof, everything's costing more. And Tyler, you'll get up here and try to take it out on Big Zeus and the rest of the people. And then you'll try to justify it and say, well, you know, it's because Donald Trump is the victim of a weaponized DOJ. Right, Tyler? And no one's falling for it. And so what I'll do is this. I did mute you. I did mute you, Tyler, which shows you that I have power over the demon being you. He said, if you mute and then you drop me, you lost. Actually, Tyler, no, it's the other way around. I muted you. I've given you a verbal chastising, and now it's time. It's time for judgment, Tyler. And so, what is the judgment, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire. Tyler, nice try. You tried to. If you could just sit in the, if you could just have an honest conversation, we would have really gotten along well. We really would have. But honestly, you can't have an honest conversation when you're a demon because there's not an honest bone in your body. So do us all a favor, the range, Tyler, and go straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus. Do we have any more? Do we have any more Tylers out there? Do we have anybody else out there that supports Donald Trump that wants to get in the box? Let's go ahead and see. Let's see. Wasn't I reasonable? Because he wanted me to, do a bunch of stuff this morning, but I really wanted to get Tyler to a place of understanding. But sometimes you just can't win them all. Zeus ran, tripping. Somebody sent you up here. Come on up here. Tripping. We'll see if you're really tripping or not. Come on up here. It doesn't take long to get to the bottom of these demons. They're sitting here right now. And I know the schools that they go to, Trump University, right? I mean, you just know, and there's a saying out there, you can't fix crazy, right? You can't, ladies and gentlemen, there are some folks you'll never be able to reach because the darkness in them is so deep, and I acknowledge that, right? So it doesn't bother me when folks like the previous guest or this guy tripping, because I understand how their end is going to come. I've been following a lot of Trump voters, and a lot of these people, the only way they'll get it is when they cross over peacefully into the afterlife. Yeah, Trippin and Tyler, these are people who've taken the oath and they have sworn themselves. They're saying, you know what? I'm willing to go to hell with you, Donald Trump. Oh, wow, we got reported. I figured that. All right. We got They always do that. Who is this?
Silence.
It always happens. Good morning, Lucia. How can I help you?
I agree with everything he says. The
Okay.
food has gotten so high, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came here to this country back in 1988.
Wow.
$20, my fridge was so full. Now I'm spending $200 and I hardly have any food. We got to do something about it, people. We got to band together.
Yeah.
We need to light the fire and burn
What
all the
part-
demons.
What part of the country are you in, if you don't mind?
Oh, I'm in Roxborough, North Carolina.
All right. Shout out to North Carolina. Do you buy that the cost of the groceries is high because of the Democrats or Joe Biden? Do you buy that story?
No, I don't.
Yeah. So you get it. It's because of Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. Well, listen up, Lucia. I appreciate you coming up here, but I'm going to keep going. All right.
Okay, I'll help you light that fire. Burn all the demons.
I will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's W's in the chat for Lucia. Now, I want to make sure, because, they get me when I do that. We continue down this path, so let me get back to where I was.
This, as a new poll finds, about 70%
Uh-oh.
can say groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago. And about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
That part. So we now have it understood, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald Trump is fully responsible for the cost of these groceries. Now what I want to do is we want to hear straight from the horse's mouth. We all saw it yesterday. He got triggered in a press conference when he was confronted about a couple of things. One is the concept of the Walmart prices being 25% cheaper. Does anyone out there believe Walmart prices for Thanksgiving dinner are still 25% cheaper? Go ahead, identify yourselves. Go ahead, please identify yourselves. Okay. No. All right. W to all of you. Listen to Donald Trump try to pretend like we all don't know what's really going on.
I agree with him on immigration much more than I agree with them, but I agree with a lot of the things in Europe he also agrees with. But
between the economy that you're describing day to day and the way many Americans say that they're feeling and they're concerned about
because of SNAP grocery prices are too high. Go give me the evidence on
Feel
that.
better about our country right now, other than the shutdown, obviously, which is caused by the Democrats, could be ended by the Democrats in 2 minutes. They feel much better. We have more jobs. We just set a record on jobs. You do know that we have more investment.
Hey, Chrissy, I saw what you put. I saw that, Chrissy. Come on up here, Chrissy. I promise you that's not the whole story, Chrissy. Promise you. You really do believe gas is cheaper? Because Donald Trump is saying it's supposed to be getting to $2 a gallon. I promise you, Chrissy, you couldn't get up here and provide us with any information to support that claim. And then the next thing, Chrissy, and I sent you an invite because, I'm a fair person, Chrissy. Come on up here and bring a couple of things. Bring us your, I don't know what state you're in, but please bring us your electric bill and your natural gas bill. Bring that up here too. I promise you, you'll sit there, you'll go, you know what, Zeus, I've been wrong. I've been listening to this guy because I know where you got that from. Listen to him.
In our country than any country in history. We're over $18 trillion as of this moment, and we're going to be maybe at 20 or 21 trillion by the time I finish up my first year. And there's been no country, China, no country in the world that's done anywhere even close to that number. Your friend Biden, as an example, in 4 years was less than $1 trillion. We'll be at 21 trillion in 1 year. So there's no country that was even close to that, and our country was a laughing stock all over the world. We have more jobs, we have more potential than any other country, and frankly, we're the hottest country right now. Victor said to me before, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Think of it. We'll have $21 trillion invested. We have auto plants.
Chrissy, do you have the $21 trillion? Do you know what he's talking about, Chrissy? WG, man. I'm sending, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I'm sending Chrissy an invite. Chrissy, maybe you could do a better job than your friend Tyler that came up here. He was one of those fragile white MAGA men out there who couldn't stand the fact that he was such a loser compared to Big Zeus in so many ways. But all I was asking him is just to be honest with us. Please, Chrissy, come on up here and tell the rest of the country right now how great we're doing. While Donald Trump is destroying the East Wing of the White House, throwing lavish Great Gatsby parties, flying around in multi-million dollar jets and stuff like that. And then he tells Chrissy, hey, don't look at me for anything. I don't want to hear the word affordability. You're okay with that, Chrissy? That's crazy to me. That's real crazy to me, Chrissy. But, to each their own. W. Zeus. Okay, well, let me
pouring back in. We have AI pouring back in. We're leading China in AI by a lot. We're leading everybody in every category. There's no category that we're in second place.
Yeah, and that includes inflation, the cost of your groceries, right? We're leading in terms of the highest cost. Yeah, medication, right? We're leading in all of those things. And it's just so interesting that these Trump voters, they still don't get it, right? Right. I mean, this man is literally confessing all his sins, and you still have supporters out there worshiping him.
So I just heard this yesterday that Walmart said that the Thanksgiving was 25% more expensive under Biden. That's a big, to me, that's a big number because Walmart's respected. I mean, Walmart is Walmart, and they're giving you.
Walmart is Walmart. Walmart is Walmart. Woo! I mean, seriously. I sit here and I look at this stuff and I'm like, Joe Biden never did this stuff. Walmart is Walmart? That's a form of communication? What does that mean? What does that mean? Walmart is Walmart.
Prices. So that would mean that the whole series of pricing and costs, the groceries and everything else, it was a con job. It was a con job. Affordability, they call it, was a con job by the Democrats. The Democrats are good at a few things: cheating on elections and conning people with facts that aren't true. It was 25%. Walmart just announced it 2 days ago. 25% cheaper this year will be cheaper to have Thanksgiving than it was a year ago under sleepy Joe Biden.
So I just want to do this. I'm going to have to send Donald Trump straight to hell for that. I covered it yesterday, but I'll say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason it's cheaper today is not because you're getting more quality food. It's exactly the opposite. You're getting less food and less quality, because that's what Walmart had to do, all because of Donald Trump's crazy and ridiculous tariffs. So think about this. MAGA. This is the mindset of a lot of people in America right now. While you're still out there in the cult, Tyler, come on back up here. I wasn't done. I started to think about something else. I wanted to check it. You got Americans out here struggling to make it to their flights. Right? They can't even get to their flights. They're losing their health insurance and they're starving because the SNAP benefits have been cut off. And then what money they do got, they go and have to buy food that's not even as much as they used to get, and the quality is not that great. But you know what's so funny, or what's actually very sad, is you have people like Tyler and people like Chrissy out there that are still out there worshiping this demon. Only a demon could sleep while they're actually talking about health issues like dementia and obesity. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in sending this demon right here, Donald Trump, where he belongs, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
CX, send me a guest request. I'm not spinning anything. You know what I have that you probably wish you had? I have 2 eyes that actually work, and I have ears that actually work. Unfortunately, you don't. Because guess what? It's like that cartoon, what was it, Pepe Le Pew or whatever, that skunk or whatever, and that smell starts to hover out of Donald Trump's, and all of a sudden you're just floating around trying to catch another whiff of that diaper. I get it. That's what I mean when I talk about these Trump voters, because there's really, honestly, no other logical explanation. W. Rick. I have yet, and I've talked to a lot of demons, to hear any logical explanation for why someone that has good common sense still supports Donald Trump. He's already been exposed as a fraud. He's the fraud. I'll give you another example. And we're going to hit play on this, and then I'll do another thing of judgment. So he told his supporters a lot of nasty things. Remember not Charlie Kirk, but Jeffrey Epstein. He actually told his supporters to stop bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. He doesn't need their votes anymore. That's how he gets when he gets mad at you, right? And so the other day he said, I don't want to hear about affordability. All right, because his game is like this. I'm up and you're not, to his base. Don't ask me about bacon and eggs. Don't ask me about none of that stuff, right? So now he gets caught in the press conference. Well, how come you don't want to talk about affordability? And he decides to once again just spaz out and go off, all right? And it's a simple question. If he had answers to it, he should be able to give those answers. But when you don't have answers, this is what you do.
You say affordability is a con job, as you put it.
Say it.
You said affordability is a con job, and you didn't want to say.
He said affordability is a con job by the Democrats. I didn't know that. Affordability. So somebody wants something to be affordable, and that's a con job by the Democrats?
Last night you didn't want to talk about affordability.
I talk about it. When did I not want to talk about it? I talk about it all the time. We are much better than Biden and all of them. Now, just so you understand, do you remember that the Biden administration had the highest inflation in 48 years, but most people say ever recorded?
And that's not true. That's not true. Joe Biden did not have the highest inflation ever recorded. You could go look this up. You might want to look into who Woodrow Wilson was, and maybe you should look into who Jimmy Carter is. But when you're a demon like Donald Trump, all you got to do is say stuff like this so that his base can run around and act like they're so intelligent.
Remember that? Right? Do you remember it?
No.
Did they have the highest inflation in 48 years? Did they? Just answer me the question. You know the answer. The answer is yes. They had the worst inflation in 48 years. We have almost no inflation. We're down now to 2%, and we'll be at maybe 1%. You want to always stay above 1%, actually. You want a little tiny...
Is our inflation, honestly, any Trump voter out there, go out there and get us the numbers on current inflation today. Is it almost 1%? Is it almost 1%? Because see, when I hear him say stuff like this, no, it's around 3%. Odd W's to all of you in the chat who got that.
Bit of inflation. were the perfect number. They were at the highest level in recorded history, okay? And when you talk about affordability, that one fact. Now, let's talk about the second biggest subject after inflation, energy. We're going to be at $2 gasoline. We're going to be approximately $2.
Oh, wait. We had a volunteer that wants to come up here. Uh-oh. All right. Come on. Roses. There's an echo.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, but there's an echo.
Do you want me to go and come back?
Are you on Bluetooth or something?
No?
Well, maybe you gotta drop down and come back up.
Okay, I'll drop down and come back. Sorry.
All right. Lie after lie. Yeah. All right, yeah, send me a guest request. I think I read your message. You said you can tell us why you were supporting Donald Trump. I don't know if you still are supporting Donald Trump, but it's it's moments like that, ladies and gentlemen. You might have to swipe out of the app and then come on back. All Zeus does is lie. Name one thing that I've lied about. Are you there?
All right. Are you there? Yeah, can you hear me? Do I have an echo still?
You still do have echo.
Okay, give me one more shot.
Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. Are you recording? Somebody says, are you recording? Because that could be what's going on. Well, you see, ladies and gentlemen, while we're having technical difficulties, that's another W for Zeus. Yeah, ma'am, if you're recording, you don't got to do that. I record all of the shows, and then I post them on my YouTube page, so you don't even have to worry about that, all right? We'll do what we got to do, and if you're on speaker, make sure you turn the speaker off. All right, you're back, Roses?
Yeah, I got out. I tried. Can you hear me? Am I still echoey?
Yes.
All right.
Well, yeah, I don't know what it is, but something's going on.
Well, the people that are listening, can they hear me, or am I too echoey? I just got a new iPhone, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Can you understand?
Well, go ahead and say what you're saying.
Oh, okay. No, I just I've seen you up here. I've seen you on TikTok before, and I just kind of wanted to give you kind of why I'm supporting Trump. Kind of give you, I'm a middle class, hardworking American. Why I support. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So
okay.
So
that's why
we'll do is
I support.
I think what we'll do is this. Every time you're done talking, you're gonna have to mute so that I can talk. All right?
Okay, sure. So can I talk a little more, or do you have something to say about that? So yeah, so I'm a hardworking, middle class American, and I was all for the success of the Biden administration, even though I didn't vote for him. I really wanted. I'm for the success of America, period. And I really wanted Trump, but I was very hopeful to have Biden in office, and it was an utter dismal failure on the part of the Democrats. So then I voted for Donald Trump, and I see, even if I see it reflected. It's very anecdotal, but I see it reflected in gas prices. I see it reflected in energy prices. I mean, I'm not going to get up here and give you all my bills, but I see it reflected in the just the sentiment of where I live. I live in the Northeast. But I'm, and I think I'm like most Americans. We're not real far left. We're not real far right. So I just want to know what does the Democrat Party stand for now? Like, what do you want? I understand affordable groceries, but when you say, okay, affordable groceries, how do you define that, Zeus? Because you admitted on your own live that, yeah, Walmart for this Thanksgiving is going to be 25% less than last Thanksgiving. But, quote, this is your quote, but quote unquote, it'll be less quality. So, I mean, why should I, in the midterms, why should I vote for the Democrats? I really don't. I've been on TikTok for a while and I've never heard anything other than, sort of pander to the, you know, special interest groups. I've never heard like anything from the Democratic Party for the all of America, American. I absolutely am for all of Americans, not just certain special groups. So I'm gonna go on pause, and I would love to hear your response.
All right, are you okay? So those are, to me, when I hear what you're saying, I think that you're mixing up what I would like to say are a lot of different issues, so to speak. And so here's the thing right now. Right now, you have a situation going on where your grocery prices are high, right? And your Donald Trump, your dear leader, so to speak, he promised you that he would bring those down. Same thing with your energy costs, right? And when this happened under Joe Biden, I understand that a lot of people, the Democrats, we didn't kind of respond to this the way that we should have, because it seemed like we were out of touch about those struggles that a lot of people were happening. And I know that a lot of folks didn't connect the dots that a lot of the things Joe Biden was dealing with was due to the failures of the previous administration, which was the Trump administration, right? Joe Biden, people forget when Biden came in, the country was really on its knees, right? And I don't know about you, but the way Donald Trump left between the C-19 and January 6th, a lot of people felt very hopeless and they didn't think the country could come back. Now, when it came back, the supply chains were unlocked. There was a lot of instability going on in the supply chain that contributed to inflation. And if I recall correctly, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine broke out, right? And these are things that Biden, basically his administration, tried to manage while at the same time getting the country back on track. And they've implemented a lot of great things, all right? American Rescue Plan, that brought a lot of people out of poverty. But I do recognize that in a way it did contribute to the inflation. But I've always said it would have probably not been as bad if Donald Trump wouldn't have been so bad in the prior years. And so, then you get to the point where you're just talking about a person and their moral and their character. I don't understand how you could look at somebody like Donald Trump, knowing all of the bad things that he's done, dirty, disgusting deeds, and in some cases crimes, and think that this man truly represents what we, the people in the United States, stand for, right? When I see things like what he's done with E. Jean Carroll, I see the convictions with that involve Stormy Daniels, the indictments from Jack Smith and insurrection and so on. To me, it's a flashing red light. Now, here we go into where we're at now, and I'm jumping around, but you're more than welcome to kind of pick it apart. I don't think we're in a moment right now where you have to go, well, who is the leader of the Democrat Party, right? But what we've seen from this previous election cycle is a lot of Americans are rejecting Donald Trump. All right. So what does that mean? We don't have a real leader, but they're rejecting Donald Trump. That to me says, okay, well, it seems like there's something else going on underneath, which is, what do you stand for? What do you want out of the country? And the Democrats right now are representing what a lot of people in this country want. And for the most part, people want to be able to provide for their families, food, water, shelter, that. What they don't want to see is they don't want to see innocent women and children being zip tied and women being slammed down on the ground in the name of protecting the border, right? And what they don't want to do is they don't want to be continued to be lied to by the established, the status quo. Donald Trump was supposed to be a change agent for good, but he's a change agent for chaos, pandemonium. They don't want to see the White House being destroyed and him enriching himself and his billionaire friends. All right. And the Democrats are actually representing that. Like, okay, we're showing, we've learned from those previous years and the mistakes. We're showing that. And so that's what's going on right now. If you are a person that wants basically people to have a fair chance in America, this is how I see it. I'm not saying the Democrats are perfect by a long shot, but if you believe that America needs to truly live up to its promise, the promise that the founding fathers said we should be able to live up to, then what side do you go along with? It's most likely going to be the Democrats, because right now they're the adults in the room, in the middle of all this chaos and pandemonium. Does that make sense?
I mean, you said a lot, but I still let me just give an example of the mayor in in New York, the new candidate, that Mandami or whatever. He, he to me represents the far left, like really socialist, bordering on communist, steal from the rich, give to the poor. Is that where the Democratic Party is going? Because I think most Americans, what was it, like 75 million Americans voted for Donald Trump because they wanted something new. And now, yeah, I think you could see it shift now that, people are like, oh, well, we want something new from the Republicans, and I think that's, the checks and balances. And I think that's the beauty of America, is that things kind of, the pendulum swings a little bit. But maybe that's the future of our country, to go socialist like Mandami, and make the rich pay, pretty much pay so much that they are forced out of the states that are overtaxing them, and then migrate more to states where they're going to have more economic freedom. Because in order to pay for what Mandami wants to do, you're going to need to tax. I mean, nothing in this world is free. So that's what I don't understand. I don't understand alienating the billionaire class, because that's who you need to pay for what your social programs that you need. Like, I think that Mandami kind of isolates the rich, and I think that Trump, although it might not be pleasant, it might not be beautiful, and it might not be, kumbaya, but getting on board with people that have money to support this country, I think that is a better way to play the game than to isolate the rich. Because, if we have a socialist country, or if we have a, hardcore far right country, I don't really think we're ever going to get rid of the wealthy class. So to isolate them, they're going to find a way. They got money. They're going to find a way to leave those cities destitute, and then the middle class are going to have to, foot the bill. So that's my fear, but maybe it's unfounded. I have, I'm very, very optimistic about the future of this country. If it does go socialist, though, I fear that the rich are still going to find a way out of paying, and then me, the hardworking middle class person, is going to be just taxed out of oblivion. And and I love social programs. I think a social nut is absolutely necessary, but it's also, rather than alienate the billionaires, millionaires, it's good to get them on board with the programs that you're initiating, and that's where I see Trump doing. He's on board. He gets the people from Walmart to spend the money, to decrease their prices, and he gets deals done. So that's kind of my perspective on it.
All right, so the way I look at it is, earlier I said that if I ask you, well, who's the leader of the Democrat Party, you're not going to really be able to pinpoint one person. So, and I think that's just how we are. There's a lot of various ways Democrats show their support for the principles that they believe in. And I actually, what Mamdani is doing, I could see where you're concerned at it. I can see where you're concerned about it, but I also think there's going to be a learning curve in terms of how he is able to implement what he wants to do in the current framework, right? So I'm not really too concerned about that, because still, to me, it boils down to the character of the person. And so I know, for instance, I don't have to worry about Mamdani breaking the laws, trying to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish. And I want to give him a shot. I think, we need to try a different approach, because maybe if he's, he probably wants to be 100% successful. But in the process of learning all about the things he's got to do, he has to work with unions, he has to work with the police, he has to work with the whole government, so to speak, in just the city of New York, for instance. That's completely different than what's going on at a national level. So I'm not too concerned about, and I know Fox says it a lot, like, well, the whole Democrat Party is going to act like Mamdani. That's not going to happen, because even amongst ourselves, we push back in different ways. But it's a good thing, because I still believe iron sharpens iron. I do believe there are some core things, though, that for the most part, we as America do need to confront. I think we need to confront the reality that when it comes to healthcare, there's some of us who want to be very proactive about it. And then there's others out here who don't maybe recognize how important it is to be proactive, but then later on realize that they're in a bad situation, and then they run and they need help, right? So I think the adult thing to do is to recognize that might be something we need to be more on the social side about, the socialist side about, because a lot of people, and that could be tied to how much people make. If you're making millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars, then I could imagine, yeah, you don't really think healthcare is a big deal because whatever happens, you could pay for it. But a lot of people have had their lives ruined just based off the healthcare cost alone. And I don't think doing that makes America socialist all overall. All right. I think we have to learn from a lot of the mistakes that we've made in the past. And what Mamdani represents, in my opinion, is the will of the American people, at least in New York. All right. For whatever the reason is, you have to recognize, and just Trump had the same appeal. You have to recognize it doesn't matter who the vessel is, who the person is. If they follow the rules to try to have an impact, right? And they're doing something that you recognize might help people, then you should give them a chance, regardless of what their beliefs, their race, their creed is, or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there have been some allegations against him taking money from other countries and, his, different things. But I understand. So what you want is quote unquote free healthcare. So explain to me how that works, because when the ACA was initiated, it actually made healthcare more expensive. I don't know how how quote unquote free healthcare is going to work in this country. I mean, we've tried it; it failed. Obama, it failed. I get that people want free, but they're like, again, nothing is free. So how do you expect that that's going to happen? Free healthcare, to me, free is a word that it is made up. It doesn't exist. Someone has to pay for it, and someone has to, we have innovation in healthcare in this country. We have people that, are making millions and billions of dollars, like the pharmaceutical companies. We also have a lot of, I believe in a big tort reform, but I don't know about, I think affordability in the health system, that might be more attainable, but to have free, I don't know if that's attainable. But is that what you want? Is that why you do not like Donald Trump, is because of healthcare and because you don't like his personality and because, he's done some shady things, which I think a lot of politicians have done? I mean, why do you call him a demon? Like, what is your biggest beef with Donald Trump?
So let's deal with the healthcare. I recognize that it's sort of like when we say defund the police, we don't really mean defund the police, because we do recognize we need to have law enforcement do their job. All right. That's not what I mean. Free healthcare. I'm not saying it to mean, well, it's free. What I'm getting at is we need to have systems in place so that if things happen to a person, they could go get that kind of treatment, and it's preventative care in a way, because I recognize, and to your point, eventually we're going to have to pay. Whether you have insurance or not, at a certain point, it's going to become a problem financially, right? A lot of people age, during their retire, once they get up there in age, they can use like Medicare or whatever. And that's a way, but even then there's still a cost, right? But what I know is if people actually have access to preventative care, for instance, then that could actually help keep some of the costs lower. A lot of people are out here eating unhealthy, and it's leading to way more complex health issues, and that ends up costing more. All right. And then the other thing is this: Donald Trump put it out there today. He says he wants basically company. He says Senate Republicans. I'm recommending to Senate Republicans that the hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people, so that they can purchase their own much better health care. So when I see Donald Trump saying that, I think it's a terrible idea, number one, but it points out the reality that at least Donald Trump still understands people need to have health care. He understands that. Now, do I have a problem with the ideas that he's suggesting? Absolutely. Because if you give somebody the money to go and do that, I understand a lot of them might not understand. Well, first of all, to me, it looks like repeal and replace in disguise, right? Because there's no infrastructure to pull off what he's doing. I don't think the healthcare quality will be the same. All right. You get out there on the open market and you start saying, hey, I got this much money. What can I get? A lot of insurance companies might not be able to, work with you because you don't have enough. But I say that to say where I stand on the healthcare is this. After C-19, and there's been other examples in American history and world history, one thing I know is that when there's an outbreak, it affects everybody. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what's your country of origin. And it means everybody could get sick. And I'm just one of these people where I'm at the point now where I'm going, a lot of people, maybe they are there 100%, but there's a lot of people that aren't there 100%. And there are times when we need to actually take care of the whole population in order to make sure all of us don't suffer and die. All right. And if that means, giving people access to health care at an affordable price, that's the key word, affordable price, because we're going to pay for it one way or another, right? Well, if, for instance, I would be willing, let's say you're getting paid, and if you want to talk about free healthcare, if this means I got to, for instance, get taxed an additional $100 a month, right? If you tax $100 a month, and that means for the most part, everybody's covered, to me, that's what I'm talking about. All right. When you say free healthcare, that means just go ahead and take whatever little bit of money you need to take out of my paycheck now, so that overall the rest of the country does have access to this, so that I'm still safe and protected. Number one. Now I want to get to your issue about Donald Trump's personality. I don't personally spend this much time bashing Donald Trump simply because I don't like his personality, right? Because there's a lot of people I just don't like their personality. The issue with Donald Trump that I have is the huge threat that he is to the country. And he represents a movement and an ideology that to me brings just total disgust and disgrace to my mouth every time I think about it. I don't stand for the bigotry. I don't stand for the misogyny. And I don't stand for the immoral conduct. And I don't stand for the crime. Right? And I don't want to get to a position in this country where that becomes status quo. Does that make sense, Rose?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know what? You're a very intelligent guy. You're very, you have a lot of great ideas and a lot to say. I'm in the middle. I could sway both. I could sway either way. And I think though, my suggestion though would be for people like you that have people that listen is to just talk about that stuff rather than bash Donald Trump. Talk about what your platform is, what you see as the America going forward. And I think the Democratic Party is really a lot of people who are in the middle. They look at all you guys have is hate Donald Trump. We don't like Donald Trump. I think that when you explain the ideas that would move this country forward, I think that would be, a lot more advantageous to the Democratic Party. So I got to go, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, can I ask you one more question before you go?
Yeah.
What do you think your responsibility? I think there's an echo. I want to make sure I get it out there. What do you think, as a person that likes to be in the middle, what would you say is your responsibility as a voter going forward? For instance, I do believe that you may have or you may not be aware that Donald Trump lied to you on multiple fronts. And there's one thing about campaigning, right? I get it, but governing is completely different. What do you think your responsibility is as a voter, so that, in terms of making sure you vote for somebody that truly reflects your values? Because I do recognize that you don't like that I bash Donald Trump. However, this is not the first rodeo that we've had with Donald Trump. A lot of us believe that this all could have been prevented if folks like you wouldn't have went and voted for him, right? And so what we're missing is, how did you ignore all of these things and then still vote for him, only to be right back actually now in a worse position, because you can see it by the results of the election, right? That he's actually worse than he was the first time. And it's actually harming Americans. And so that's my question to you. I know it's a bit of a long one, but what is your responsibility?
I am absolutely, like I said, I really am, I'm Gen X. I lived through, 9/11. I've lived through, the 90s and Clinton and, and so my perspective on the future of America is, I get the progressive perspective. Like we got to move forward in this new generation. They really kind of want free this, free that. And I just know that there's nothing free in this world. I also know that the last 4 years, when we kind of got out of this COVID, the C-19 uh, shit show, it was a financial, burden on this country, and I think that the financial burden really put us in a bad spot. But to blame the Republican Party or Donald Trump on that, I think that's a little disingenuous. I think that when I looked at Biden when he did give an interview, it made no sense. When I looked at Kamala Harris, she really had no. There was nothing that she had for me. There's nothing that she said. She didn't speak to me. She didn't speak to America. I felt like she spoke to special interest groups, and that's wonderful if you're one of those groups. But I think for the whole of America, the Democratic Party really fell short. And, prices went up and groceries. And I think that I think it's political, and I think it's our leaders that have a lot to blame for that. But I also think it's, the aftermath of a pandemic that really put a blow on the economics of this country. So when I voted for Donald Trump, I felt, I do feel he is positive. He is charismatic with all his quote unquote lies. Well, we can list the lies from the Democratic Party. I can list lies, from the Republican Party. They're politicians. They lie. He was a rich man. He did some, did some things in the 90s, which, the Eugene Carroll thing, even to this day, I don't see real hardcore evidence to prove one way or the other. So the jury's still out on that. I feel positive, closing down our borders. I 100% want immigrants in this country. If they come here legally, I think this is a great place to live. People risk their lives to live here, and I don't know that Gen Z knows how good they have it in this country. I have been to Africa. I have been to Mexico. I have been all over this world, the globe. I've been to Europe. I've been to Cuba. I did a lot of work in Cuba, and I absolutely love this country more than, and it was great to go visit other places. But when I came home, I knew that this is the country for me, and so I understand why people want to live here, but just do it the legal way, and do it. I want safety. I want borders. I want, I want law and order. I want everybody to, have a fair shot. And that's why I voted for Donald J. Trump, because he's just charismatic. He has a plan forward. Is it going to be free? Is everything going to be free? No. But he's working his ass off. Whereas Biden, I felt like, was always on the beach with an ice cream. So, even the optics are very off. And if you guys presented me with a wonderful Democratic candidate that just spoke to the country and not just special interest groups, but spoke to all of us, hardworking Americans, people that are on government assistance, people that are billionaires, spoke to everybody, then I would consider it. I would consider the Democratic Party. But as of today, I don't see anyone on your side that's speaking to the American as a whole, which we are a wonderful melting pot in this country. We have all nationalities. We have all religions. It's just a wonderful country. We just need to find someone wonderful to lead. You don't like Trump? Great. Find someone else. Find someone equal to Trump, but on the Democratic side, and I'll listen. I haven't done that. You haven't done that. So, it's like, what are the millions of Americans that voted for Trump? What are we supposed to think? Who are we supposed to follow? For 2028? Like, who are we going to vote for? That's just my perspective. Present me with a
The
good
original
candidate.
question was, what is your responsibility That was my original question. I mean, what I heard there, and I believe if you still have time, right? This is a good conversation. There's folks that are begging to talk to you, and I'm curious to hear what you could say to them. All right, if you still have time. But I just want to make sure I understand the answer to your question. You believe that your responsibility as a voter is to find candidates that are talking to you, even and the one that's talking to you, even if they're lying and they're bad, that's what you should vote for. Is that kind of where you're at?
I don't think I said that. I said, I said all politicians lie to me. You know, but if a politician comes in and he says to me, you know, vote for me. I'm a socialist, communist, Muslim, and I want to defund the police, and I want to steal from billionaires, you know, and everything's going to be great and everything's going to be free. No, I'm not going to vote for that. Sorry, but I'm not. I mean, I'll be honest.
To you.
So if
He's
someone,
charismatic.
yeah, no, but I'm saying that he just doesn't have the interests of all of New York City. I think he's, you know, pandering to us, you know, whatever voter he wanted to get. I don't even know.
Roses.
Yeah,
He does because he won.
yeah, exactly.
So he does.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. And that's the beauty of a democratic republic. So
he's checking off all the boxes that Trump checks off. And you're saying you won't support him.
You want to compare Mandami to Trump? I mean, we can do that, but I don't. He didn't speak to me. I think Trump would. You know, I saw the economy starting to really pick up. I saw him, you know, starting to make deals with the, you know, Eastern countries. I'm not going to mention which ones. And then I saw what happened. I saw the aftermath of that. But I did see, you know, he's a businessman. I did see the, you know, because I think that being a social democrat is absolutely wonderful. But I think number one is fiscal responsibility, because without fiscal responsibility, you're not going to be able to pay for your social programs. That's where I see sort of the hypocrisy of someone like Mandami.
Here's the thing. Right now we're running out of SNAP, right?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Is Donald Trump a socialist?
Donald Trump is.
He's not a socialist.
Well, he got voted into a country that has social programs. So I mean,
you're talking about fiscal responsibility. He has a program that's ran out of funding currently under him. So you can't say that what Zoran is will result in what Donald Trump's currently dealing with. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. Explain it in a different way. I don't know where you're trying to go with that, because okay, sorry.
I'll say this.
Well, I'm going to go, but I just wanted to say, you know, speaking from someone that could be swayed to go to the Democratic Party, you know, I think it would be better to just come on and really talk about your policies rather than being anti-Trump. Find a candidate that speaks to all of America, not to just certain groups, and then you know, and you'll be back in power. You know, someone that wants to make America great again.
Someone wants to ask you a question.
I want to be discussed.
I don't want to talk to anybody else besides you.
No,
That's
why you're running. That's
because I know who you are and I know who Zeus is.
Yeah.
Zeus is rational, he's logical, and he's smart. And you're going to come up here and tell me. I don't have any.
You are a great apologist. Her name is not Eugene. It's Eugene Carroll. And I know you said you didn't care the picture. I know you said that. You said it to me in my life. And you want to run because you are lying. You just sat up here. Zeus, she is the female DJ. She will sit up here, try to sound smart and articulate and whatnot, but she is really probably one of the most selfish people in the United States of America. You do not care at all that children are starving right now. Don't even pretend to care.
Rose?
Oh, yeah, I do.
What's your name from before Rose?
I do know you. I do know you, yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you so angry? What are you so
Because
angry
you're
about?
lying. You just sat
What did I
here.
lie about?
You sat here and lied. You're behind us. Tell the truth. Tell them.
What did I lie about?
All right, you sat here. I don't know about
There's an
that.
echo.
Because she needs to shut up. That's why.
Rose, you have to mute when they're not talking.
What do you have against?
What I have against you is you sat in my life and you are a great apologist. That's what I have against you. What I have against you too is you sitting up here. Every word you just said to Zeus was a lie. Be who you really are. Be for real. Come on, be for real. Tell them what you really are. And you don't tell me you've left this country. You've never left this country. You ain't even left the trailer park lady.
Ooh, okay.
No, I'm not okay with you. I'm not okay with great apologists. I'm not okay with racists. I'm not okay with people who don't care about kids. Not at all.
Okay, listen.
No, I'm not listening.
We are not talking about rape apologists. I am saying if you don't like Donald Trump, find a candidate that represents the Democratic Party and represents America.
How is he charismatic? Tell me. He's a rapist. How is he charismatic?
Has that been proven, Angela? Okay, where's the fucking...
Oh, see, there it is. Bring it out. Come on now, there it is. Yeah, you sat all there and you tried to talk all DJ. There it is. I told you.
Where's the evidence?
There's an echo.
Keep dropping those F-bombs, you racist, rape apologists.
I never said anything. I never talked one thing about race. I never talked one thing about
you have in my life, baby. I've had you in my life 2 years. I don't forget you.
There was no evidence.
Voice, you're a liar. You're a goddamn liar.
Well, here's the thing. Because it's too echoey.
All right. Well,
I think we're going to have to
okay.
move.
Yeah. Thank you, Zeus.
It's too echoey because she's a demon and she needs to go. That's why.
All right. Thank you.
Hell out of here.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. What a wow. All right, W and so she has a track record, is what you're saying, Ange. Wow.
That's the female DJ. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to be all articulate and pretend to be smart. She has not left this country. She probably hasn't even left her state. I want to say something more, but I'm going to try to keep it polite. She angers me so much because when I told her in my live about the Eugene Carroll, she knows it's not Eugene Carroll. She does that on purpose because she has no respect at all. She literally said, I don't care. I don't care. It wasn't, is there any evidence? She goes, I don't care. Wow. I don't care. So yeah, lady, I have your number and you knew it too. You could probably see me in the comments section. Wow. And I was dying to get up here. I'm going to shut up now because I did. I crashed.
Well, you did good. You did good. W hand. You did what you had to do.
I admit I crashed out. I try not to, but she's just enraging. So I'm going to go.
Fair enough. All right.
Thanks for having me.
W's Ange. Seriously, Rose, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't get up here and pretend like you're not someone you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my good friend Ange. Welcome. Bring up G-Man. Welcome, G-Man. Welcome to the show, bro. How are you doing?
Good morning, everybody. Ange, I wish she was back.
You want to talk to her?
G-Man. I want to talk to her. I'm going to talk to you and both of y'all.
Ange, G-Man wants to see you. He wants to see you, Ange, front and center. It's when G-Man asks, he gets.
Well, it's great to hear that Becky's peers, one of her own peers, jump on her because I had in my spidey senses, know that she really don't care. She says she's hardworking, live in the Northeast and all this stuff. I'm originally from New York, and she says she's a Generation X. I'm not going to respect Generation X. I'm a Jones generation. I was alive the first time he and his father got sued, the first time out of twice for housing discrimination. Don't want no person of color. Now, if you say you're working hard on all this, he screwed contractors, manipulate the court system, and pay the money to older contractors, that some of them had to unalive themselves, couldn't do the burden. Trump has always been an opportunity to the get-go. He was running Democrat. And I try to tell these bitty bottles and back in Georgia I've been most of my life. Why are you following somebody that don't give a F about you? I be straight up to the point. They don't give a f about you, and he still don't. What he doing is that he penalized you just like people on the left or Democrat. And by the way, if you call me a liberal or Democrat, I don't give a f what you. I'm an independent resident, but I have empathy to other people besides my freaking self.
Bingo.
I work, and they said about free healthcare. Listen up, the healthcare system sucks, and the younger generation see. Generation X and millennial and afterwards had to struggle in 2-3 jobs, unlike the earlier boomers had to work one job until 1972. One job, had a family, 2 kids and cars and all that. And during that time, it's been declining ever since. And I live it to see it.
Yeah.
You don't believe me? Do your research and don't ignore about Trump flaws and controversies. And you try to say all politicians lied. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, try to get your votes on it, but you ignore about his flaws. And Ange, thank you. You stole my thunder because it's great to hear you when her own peers get an honor. So all you MAGA bichos or blagger bichos and everybody come with your nonsense. And I'm gonna let you know, don't try to play the game with that lady, dude. But sooner or later, somebody's gonna know who you are.
Thank you.
And get you on it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad Angie was there before I did roast her.
Yeah, she been asking to get in there, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something I
I'm
need to get.
sorry,
to
I don't usually freak out and crash
fine.
out because I don't like to do that because they got to me. But she was lying. I've dealt with her before. She's the female DJ. G-Man, you rock. Thank you for having me come back up. You guys show this man some love if you can. He is the absolute best. He's been coming up on Zeus's panel, my panel. He always says he learns from us. We learn from you too, G-Man. You are a very hard worker, and you deserve everything, all the love that you get.
Amen.
Same to you. Same to everybody. I'm never too old to do no things. If I'm wrong, correct me. That's what she'll do. And for your MAGA beach, you think you're smart. You think you don't want to admit that you're wrong. Sometimes you need to be adult enough to say, "Oh, I do not know," or maybe I do my research.
Humble. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
But Zeus, I know I'm gonna try to let somebody else.
All right.
And just keep the
Bye,
passion,
guys.
my
Love
brother.
you, G-Man.
Angie, I love you too. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. All right. As you can see, we're cooking and booking bright and early this morning. WG-Man, W-Ange. Do we have any more Trump voters out there? That was an interesting conversation. Seriously, do we have any more Trump voters? Identify yourselves in the comments section. All right, I want to make sure I get at least a couple more discussions in before I get up out of here. All right. What does it say? The Dems care about you more than the rich representatives do. Yeah. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. What up, Q Dog? Yeah. All right. We gonna move it along. All right. Let's see. You remember this demon right here? 0 hours 33. What brings you back to the show? I thought we've discussed that you don't really care about having an honest conversation before.
Hey, good morning, Zeus. How are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, let's talk about the snap.
Okay, what is your issue?
Well, you said that. Put it to you like this. You said that Trump is the prices are going up under Trump.
Correct.
And that we need to have SNAP for constituents. Now, this is my deal. I think that SNAP is...
Just say how you feel. Just say how you feel.
I think SNAP takes away from the food prices, Zeus. I think that when you have SNAP, it makes food prices go higher.
Really?
Right. So listen to my logic. For example...
That's kind of weird, right? Because everything goes up since I've been born. Everything, has gone up. So how do you link SNAP and to food only? Does that make sense? Like, there's a lot of factors that contribute to inflation, not just, I'm using your logic, but go ahead.
Okay. So let me give an example. If I have 10 apples and I have 100 people, the price of those 10 apples are going to go through the roof. And the reason why they're going to go through the roof is because it's scarce. Now, if I have 100 apples and 2 people, then I'm going to sell those apples for little to nothing. Heck, I probably even give them away. And the same thing with SNAP, right? So when these people go into these stores with fake dollars, right? Because there's nothing behind these dollars, right? They're generated out of thin air. It's fiat currency.
Okay.
And you're trading fiat currency for a hard good.
But don't you see what you're doing, right? You're playing games.
No, hear me out.
You're
I'm not
playing
finished my point. No, I'm still ascending.
Did you create this? Did you come up with this on your own? Because I mean, I can see.
No, Zeus, it's economics 101. It's a Ponzi scheme if you think about it, right? You're trading something that's thin air for nothing, right? Thin air is currency created out of thin air for a hard good.
So then there's no harm. There's no harm if it's thin air. Then what difference does it make if you use it or not? It's nothing in your world, right?
Well, no, the scarcity of food, right?
Yeah.
Versus food being in abundance.
Right.
Right. With food stamps, the food is scarce. It's a social program.
No.
And my greater point is,
I'm not following.
Socialism equals. Listen to me. Socialism equals your choices.
Okay,
correct.
Listen.
Correct.
I had it. I'm. You know that show.
Correct.
Shark Tank. You know that
Can
show.
we agree
Shark
on
Tank?
that?
33. Listen. You know that show Shark Tank.
No. Let's stay on subject.
I'm out. I can't follow the logic.
Let's not do scenarios.
I can't follow the logic. So what I'll do is this: 33. I can't follow the logic. All right, Chef. I was trying to. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 33. He getting up here doing MAGA mathematics mixed with economics makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I'm pretty sure somebody told him he's smart for thinking that. But you're not smart over here, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send him where he belongs, straight to hell. Sorry, bro. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Silence.
Yeah.
MAGA.
All that to get to a point. Where's the point? I don't think people should get the SNAP benefits. Okay, then just flat out and say that. But then what you would then have to own is the reality that you're basically sentencing a lot of your fellow Americans straight to the pits of hell. These people have paid their taxes. They get access to these benefits that this country got. Donald Trump, even if we want to use your logic, Trump is saying he's brought in trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. So if that's the case, then we got the money to do it. Let's not sit here and pretend to start playing games. You have a problem with this is what bothers me, 33. You have a problem with somebody getting a couple of $100 a month, but you have absolutely no energy for Elon Musk becoming the first trillionaire off of the government of the United States. You have no problem with Donald Trump making himself $7 billion more richer since he's gotten in office, him and his crime family. You have no problem with that, but you got a problem with somebody making a couple $100. Bro, relax. W. Zeus. And it's always your own doing it to you. You over here pocket watching, I don't know what you make, 33 per month or whatever, or annually. I don't know what you make, but your mind is so warped. And I don't know what you did, the devil's lettuce perhaps, and I don't even want to say that, but whatever you did, W. Kabira, whatever he's done this morning, or it's probably taken him a whole week to come up with that mindset, he somehow said, I finally figured out the best way to hate on anybody that's collecting SNAP benefits. I gotta trick them into believing they're a part of a scheme. And you really put energy into a bunch of nonsense while Donald Trump is robbing the American people blind. Get out of here. Can someone see, Rose, you see why I get upset? Rose, this is a good example of why I get upset on this show. And it's like I'm bashing, because you see what I gotta deal with. You see what I gotta deal with? 33, I want you to explain this, 33. That's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah, he don't want to talk about this. He don't want to talk about this. I did I did an outstanding lecture, DC Stevenson's Triple K last week. Did 33 jump up in the box and say anything? Because he knows what he's doing, upholding white supremacy. And that's an example of what he just did, getting mad at somebody for collecting food stamps. Yeah, 33, you had no energy for this. And then DJ, and I'm not going to forget this, but DJ got in my box, and he had nothing to say about this other than well, he was a Democrat. I mean, these people, this Rose, if you're listening, this is why the attitude is the way that it is. All right. Now let me go back to what I was doing. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump voter. I'll bring you right on up here. If you can, please stay on focus. All right. Please stay on focus. Good morning. Who do we have here? I thought that was Wakanda. I thought it was Wakanda, but maybe it didn't come up here. All right, Wakanda. Well, I guess you can't come up here. Do we have any Trump voters out here, ladies and gentlemen? Identify yourselves. All right. Please identify yourselves. Caribbean Queen. Thank you. I'm having connectivity issues. Good morning, Takesha. How are you?
What's up, friend? How you doing?
I'm all right. What about you?
I done told you about that tie-tongue Tasmanian that you just got through talking to that nutcase.
33, yeah, he a nut, all right.
You gotta be a whole fool to think that SNAP is not money. How is it not money, Zeus, when they put money to fund it? How is SNAP not money, Zeus?
Yeah.
You gotta be ignorant to sit up. It's indivisible.
Yeah.
Didn't look into my logic, Zeus. What logic? Goodness gracious. But listen, Zeus.
Talk to them. Talk to them. They need this truth. Go ahead, Takesha. Tell them.
I wanted to come up here and push Rose out the box. Because I got into it with her on Angie's Live, Zeus. And I've never wanted to put my hands on somebody so bad.
Really?
When Rose is not in the middle, Zeus. You can block out the left and the right and she still wouldn't get in the middle. She just lying, Zeus.
Wow. Well, she said that I'm reasonable, Takesha. I mean,
Zeus, she'll do that. She try to trick people to make it seem like she a sane woman. But if you had kept letting Ange go at her, you would have found out that she ain't got the common sense she pretends she got on this app.
I would have, but it was an echo, and it was hurting.
Baby, I wish that echo was not, because Ange had to get her, I had to get her, Nutty had to get her. Rose is a terrible person.
Wow.
She wouldn't vote Democrat if it was the only thing to vote for, Zeus. She's not in the middle. She's a Trump humper. She humping him worse than a Great Dane to a poodle in an alley, Zeus. I'm trying to say these folks play too much around here. Things are going on that are too serious for them to be around here playing.
Wow. She's that bad. She put on a good act. I mean, real outstanding.
She acts just as good as the man she said that's charismatic and positive.
Yeah.
She's just like Donald Trump.
That was concerning. That I asked her, I said, so what is your responsibility? And I don't think did I get an answer for that?
No.
Okay.
Because she wasn't going to give you an answer. Let me say this, Zeus. Anybody that still support a man that goes all the way to the Supreme Court not to feed people are pitiful people. And if you say you follow Christ and you're willing to let people be hungry, you're not a follower of Christ. There is nothing Christ-like about you. There is nothing Christ-like about this administration. Nope. And there definitely ain't nothing Christ-like about Donald Trump.
Amen. Go ahead, Takesha. Now, when you start saying what you've been saying like that, you really get me going. Go ahead, preach to these folks.
Zeus, they can put a Bible. They can put the 10 Commandments in the school.
Amen.
They ain't following the 10 Commandments. They ain't reading the Bible. And if they think that's moving God, they can go sit down. Because the Lord ain't doing nothing but frowning upon them and making sure that the gate is locked when they get up there trying to get in.
Hit them with it. A lot of them think they going to heaven, Takesha.
They ain't going.
Oh.
They ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
They tickets are for a flight at a lower rate. They going to hell.
Woo! Takesha, could you please calm down?
When gasoline draws on.
Oh, God. You know gasoline's getting down to $2 a gallon, so you know.
Child, please. Child, please.
Takesha, listen, could you please stop bashing Donald Trump so
No.
much? Oh, because that's all you have to offer the people. Is just...
I don't care.
Oh, okay. So
somebody on another line said, why do Democrats want Trump to fail so bad? I'm going to tell you this. They might not want him to, but I do. And I'm going to tell you again why I want Trump to fail. Because maybe some of these people that are bending the knee and praying to Trump will go back and bend their knee and pray to the Lord.
Now, a lot of people will say that ain't Christ-like of you to wish harm.
It's very Christ-like.
Uh-oh.
Y'all don't want folks to bow down to the Lord instead of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I kept telling y'all at the beginning, he cares nothing about the American people. We are his retribution. He got back in here to make us pay for rejecting him in 2020. If y'all can't see this while he's falling asleep on TV and y'all talked about Sleepy Joe and this man can't even stay woke to talk about a fat drug, cut it out.
You made me want to do it. I'm gonna go back to it.
Go back to it, Zeus.
When we had him sleeping,
you ripped Van Winkling in a whole press conference.
Yeah, right there.
You ripped Van Winkle. Get what they'll say, Zeus. Well, he worked so hard. He's tired. No. He just sleepy and old, just like Joe Biden.
Have you ever seen Joe Biden do that?
No. I mean, you ran back, baby, like the Sandman that came and just threw his sand up your nose. You breathing in, and now you just knocked out.
I mean,
look at him, Zeus.
and that ain't that I'm tired. That's that I'm knocked out. I'm gone.
That's that I'm old. Guess what, Zeus? Guess what they'll say? Well, that's AI.
Oh no.
That picture was taken out of context.
AI,
He was praying to the Lord for the drug to work for the American people. Wow. He wasn't asleep. That's what they'll say, Zeus. But let me say this one thing, then I'll be done.
All right.
Dr. Oz said that the American people will lose over 100 and some billion pounds. Zeus, if you take that and divide that into how many Americans are on the earth, none of us are going to exist. Not even the children. The children are going to be losing 348 pounds. We're going to lose, every person in America going to lose 348 pounds. Zeus, some of them don't even weigh 100.
Wow.
These people just make up numbers.
Yeah.
That sound good, that is really ignorant.
Wow.
And these are people we got running the country, Zeus.
Wow.
We in trouble.
We are in trouble, but I'm not going along with them like a lot of these other people will. I won't be doing it, all right? And it
just get Nebuchadnezzar on out their office and we can do a good job.
Amen.
All right, Zeus, you have a good day.
All right. You too, W. Takesha. No lines detected. Yeah, see? I decided to do the show today because, we're not letting up on MAGA, and I get it now. I see what's happening now, and I want to thank Ange and Takesha and, all of you coming up here, holding them accountable. So they're trying to play coy right now, but they understand the end is near. Do we have any more Trump voters out there? Go ahead, please identify yourselves. Identify yourselves in the comment section. It really doesn't take long. But the question that you got to live with now is, why are you still supporting somebody like him? He's not doing anything for you, right? We got airplanes falling out of the skies. I see these things. The airports, the flights aren't being made. They're using the TSA as political pawns to try to escape what Donald Trump has not been doing. And the biggest scandal, and honestly, the biggest scandal. And the media, they don't want to talk about it, but it's Donald Trump's swollen ankles. It's his dementia. It's the bruising on the hands, right? That's the biggest scandal going on, and it's the auto pen. He's signing pardons. And he doesn't even know who the people he's pardoning is. And like I said yesterday, doesn't that make you want to know who's really running the country? MAGA. Yeah. Okay, see, we have a Trump voter. MAGA victory. Yeah, come on up here, MAGA victory. I want to talk to you. How are you? Do you realize this is what he really did? He's sleeping in the Oval Office. Remember how you used to get on Joe Biden about falling asleep at the beach? I mean, but okay, that's a normal place to actually catch a little bit of Z's, right? You went there to rest and lay down. That's normal, MAGA. But in the middle of a press conference? In the middle of a press conference about obesity, right? And dementia was mentioned. The camera is actually capturing your dear leader with they say that's a mini stroke. He's had a mini stroke. That's what I've heard. Y'all got to actually understand God is not to be mocked. Y'all have literally, and this is why right now I go and I listen to what MAGA and them are complaining about right now on X. They're bragging about getting Obama right now. Brennan, Clapper, they're oh yeah, we got it because it's a distraction because all MAGA knows right now is fear. All they know is fear, but they don't understand there's universal laws at work right now. Everything you are weaponizing and trying to say the Democrats are doing, after a while, the truth comes out and the world sees it's not the Democrats doing it, it's actually you. This is the person, not Sleepy Joe, it's Sleepy Don. Remember he said he's gonna create all this peace in the world? No, he's not. Grocery prices, he said they were going to come down. They're going in the exact opposite direction, and you have to own it. And one of the other scandals, Charlie Kirk. Every day I open up, there's another scandal about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. And it doesn't involve the Democrats. Now I'm hearing it was an audit that was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen, and he's no longer, and MAGA, you're radio silent about it. You're radio silent. But remember, when it happened, who did you run to? You didn't run to your dear leader. You came and you ran to Big Zeus and all of us in the kingdom with your tears, with your outrage. Zeus! It's your rhetoric! It's your rhetoric! Well, apparently the Democrats' rhetoric is not as bad as you thought it was, because look at these elections that we just had, MAGA. So it ain't that. So look at what's going on in America right now. And I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to bring up some more guests because I got to do it. But what I want to keep reminding MAGA is this. You don't want health insurance. You don't want vaccines. You don't want jobs. You don't want to fly anywhere. You don't even want food. All you want is Barack Obama. That's some nasty, that's the nastiest grinder situation I've ever seen. These folks so obsessed with Obama, they willing to do the unimaginable. Ladies and gentlemen, join me. And Rose, you might get mad about me doing this, but I'll do it anyway. Let me warm that lake of fire up. Rose, because you still support Donald Trump after I bent over backwards for you to try to save you, if you still support Donald Trump, and anybody else that supports Donald Trump, Sleepy Don, do me a favor and go straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Let me see. Who do we got here, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know who this is. Let's see. Who do we got, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my gosh. Good morning. Who do we have here? Brother Val, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
How's it going, Zeus?
Hey, how's he going? Nice to see you on a weekend.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to see you.
Yeah.
So,
well, because I've been kind of doing light shows throughout the whole week, so I was like, you know what?
you'll put a little extra time in. Put a little extra.
Yeah, I gotta make up for lost time, so to speak. So
well, it's funny you say that, because for 33 that came up here a little bit ago, 33, I want to tell you what you're actually describing when you were talking about your 2 apples and 100 people. Okay. So I want to make sure that 4 apples and 100 people. Sorry, but I want to make sure that you understand that you described the late 1800s and early 1900s of this country perfectly. Okay. When 90% of this country were actually considered poor. Okay. Because what you actually described, sir, is 4 apples for 100 people. What you failed to say is that what you really have is 96 hungry people.
Oh. And he's okay with that, though. He's okay with it because he's not looking at the 96 hungry souls out there. He's looking after the invisible hand, I guess. I don't know it was a weird setup.
Right. I mean, it was absolute control from the, you know what I'm saying, control from the rich over the poor. That's what you really described. What you described is a production failure. How do you get production failures? Because you don't have enough people to produce. Okay. How else do you get production failures? You won't pay people to produce. That's, you know what I'm saying? That is why you have production failures, sir. If you knew you had 100 customers and you were doing your job and you were making sure you had the resources and the people behind you to produce those 100 apples, nobody'd be hungry. Those people would also be getting paid. If you want to get rid of SNAP, raise the minimum wage.
So what are you saying? Because a lot of people who are on SNAP is what you're saying. They're not making enough money. They're not the people that Fox keeps showing, right? Which is,
No.
oh, these are undocumented people that are illegally collecting benefits, or these are just people who are so lazy that they're just sitting at home collecting benefits from the government. You're saying people aren't making enough money.
No, I mean, people look at this stuff, and I want people to remember. Back through the 1940s, through the all the way through the 1970s, a single working family home could survive. Okay? That single family working home could survive because one person could work enough for mom to stay home and take care of children.
Yeah.
Okay? Or, if there was a divorce or something like that, there was things put in place for that dad to still take care of that single working parent, to put that in short. That's what we've lost.
True.
Okay? That is what we've lost in this country. We did that by taxing the wealthy and major corporations in this country. That's how we fed that gap. And actually having a living wage. Now, that living wage started to fail in the late 1960s through the 1970s.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, fiscal conservatism and all. That nice little word that your first guest wanted to use, the one that she wanted to try to apply to Republicans. The people responsible for over 59% of our debt in this country. That group of people is what you want to try to curb and put on Democrats.
Wow.
It's Republicans that aren't fiscally responsible. Haven't been since the 1980s. Proof of that, our debt has ballooned over, what is it now? 800% since the 1980s. Under Republican control. I don't know where y'all got your math skills at. Okay, but this is painfully obvious and painfully simple to look at. And what you wanted people like 33 that come up here and want to make excuses for that? Sir, I'm sorry. If you don't want those kind of social programs, pay. Pay your fair share. Have the wealthy pay their fair share. Get rid of the monopolies we have in this country that open it up for other people to work and do and own. That is how you fix this problem. Instead, you put a person in that's going to create more monopolies and actually take away resources from Americans to earn. And the people that are going to hurt from that are youth. Okay? I'm not going to feel it as much because I came up through a different time. But our youth is going to feel it. And they're going to feel it hard. When they get to my age, they're going to be like, what happened? If you continue down this road, we have to fix what is happening in this country. What you saw Tuesday was people done with the logic like 33.
Amen.
People done with the poison coming out of somebody's mouth that are all absolute lies like Rose.
Yeah.
I don't care how nicely somebody talks to you.
She was nice.
Yeah, I don't care how nicely somebody talks to you. If it's poison, it's still poison.
True.
That's the problem. We've got to start recognizing poison. In critical thinking, sir, holy cow. 33, you couldn't critically think if your life depended on it.
Wow. Val's not lying. He's not lying. This is, I mean, and you're being way kinder than you used to be. All right. He says,
It's just frustrating to listen to people like that come up here. The apples thing, I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah.
Same thing with the fiscally conservative. Oh, the other thing that drove me absolutely nuts from Rose.
Okay.
Give me a good candidate. Rose, if you were an employer and you were an employee and your two choices were Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris, and you had two resumes in front of you, there would only be two reasons that you did not hire Kamala Harris.
Speak on it.
Because it was definitely not because of her experience or what she's done or her accomplishments.
Speak on it.
You didn't vote for Donald Trump because of his accomplishments, because he has none. The only two reasons are racism or misogyny.
Woo!
Take your pick.
And there's really no other way to put it. No other way to put it. And did she answer, from your perspective, did she ever answer my question? Because I asked her, I said,
Absolutely
what is your
not.
responsibility as a voter?
No, she avoided that like the plague. She did the spin. I really thought she broke an ankle right there.
Wow.
That was, the spin out of that was insane.
Yeah.
That's when she went in. That's when she went in. I've traveled all over the world. And I knew America was supposed to be like the rest of the world is terrible. Hey, ma'am, you know what? You may want to, there's this nice little thing you can look up and it's called the Freedom Index. Okay, and it actually rates all the countries in the world by the amount of freedom you actually have within the country.
Right.
You may want to go look that up. What you'll find out is America's nowhere close to top in freedom.
Wow. That's unfair.
Okay. And the reason we're not, ma'am, is because of things like Donald Trump. I didn't refer to him as a person for a reason, because he's a thing right now. It's an enigma.
Yeah.
May want to look that up too.
Tell him. Well, listen up, brother. We're going to move it along. All right, Brother Val?
Thank you, sir.
W's in the chat. For now. No lies detected. All righty then. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Do we have anybody out there that still supports Donald Trump that wants to come up here and try to speak? All right. Because that's what this is about, right? All right, let's see. Who do we got? MAGA Victory. Where did you go? I saw MAGA Victory. Where's MAGA Victory? Come on back up here. Dirk Funk. Good morning. How are you? I don't know if this is it. Dirk Funk. Good morning.
Hey, this is Dirk Funk here.
Yeah,
Good morning. How's it going, sir?
Am I right? Are you a Trump voter?
Well, I voted for him. That's correct.
Are you still supporting him?
Of course.
Why?
Well, I mean, I think he's the most effective president that we've ever had.
Is that in a good way or in a bad way?
In what way would that be bad?
Well, is there a lot of background noise? Are you at an airport stranded?
Yeah, I'm flying right now. I'm in the air.
Are you in the air or are you at the airport?
I'm in the air right now. I'm jumping right now. I'm putting on my parachute.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, let me explain to you why Donald Trump isn't really who he's cracked out to be. How would you say he's doing right now in terms of the economy?
Well, I would say it's fantastic. We have stable inflation, unlike the Biden years where we reached 9% inflation.
Okay.
We have tariffs getting implemented.
Got it. All right. You want to? Maybe you can help me out with something. Let me see something real quick. I want to see if I can get this. I want to make sure I do this correctly, because
Go ahead.
Something. Oh yeah, this is on Fox News. This is what Fox News is saying.
This, as a new poll finds, about 70%.
Hold on, 70%.
Can say Groceries are more expensive now than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
And about 60% of them are blaming President Trump.
So Fox News.
So let's look at the raw data rather than opinions.
No, that came from Fox News.
No.
That's
I don't care.
That's the gold standard, right?
You just gave a poll and said that's factual, saying grocery prices are up.
No, I didn't. Fox gave that. All right, 71% of Americans say they're spending more on groceries, and 60% are blaming Trump. And I actually think
once again, that's called a poll. Let's look at the data.
I actually don't think Fox is being
Everyone here
accurate.
could go to eggprices.org and you could see we're at the lowest egg prices in 10 years.
Okay, but what has that got to do with all of the other type of groceries? Same thing with gasoline. I know you're going to try to say gas
our energy is lower. Our energy is lower.
No,
we
not
have more
necessarily.
production.
Not natural gas and not what is the other one? Electricity, right?
Oh yeah. So what are the prices? Compare them.
I can go look.
You're
that,
saying it's higher now. Let's see.
30% higher than it would have been if Joe Biden
Got
was
it.
in
So
office.
let's see the numbers.
Well, I've looked at them already.
Okay, so bring it up for the group here.
No, I just want to Dirk Funk.
No?
I just want to say this. You're wrong. A majority of Americans don't believe you anymore. So what else you got?
Well, once again, I don't care about polls. I care about the data. So go ahead and bring up the fact that it's 30% more expensive, like you just said.
Okay, but did you recognize that this previous Tuesday, the data showed that a majority of Americans actually believe me, not you.
Yeah, in liberal cities. Wow, you won New York and you won New Jersey.
Trump won
and
some
Virginia.
Of those,
wow.
Trump won some of those quote liberal places.
Oh, he won New York City? When?
And I'm talking about in New Jersey and in Virginia. He won some of those districts before in 2024. So
yeah, but this is a governorship.
It doesn't matter.
You're happy that a Democrat won New Jersey governorship? Wow.
Yeah, I actually am because it's a rebuke of
it's Trump. A low
and
bar.
Then we could get into what happened.
That's a really low bar that you have.
And what about what happened in Mississippi? I believe didn't they do something out there spectacular?
Wow, you flipped like what 1 seat in Mississippi? Whoa.
Yeah.
Blue wave.
Yeah.
You got a blue wave on your hands.
How old are you?
Well, I'm 30.
All right. So I just wanted to check in with you, but obviously I don't think you're serious.
Well, you haven't given any data to back up anything that you're saying. And now you're saying Americans agree with you because Democrats won Democrat cities and states? That's your logic?
Do you think they're Democrat cities and states?
Yeah, I live in New York City. I think I know the city a little bit better than you do.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question then. Why are Americans complaining right now about grocery prices? And you give me the data.
Yeah, well, Americans are brainwashed like yourself to trust the media and trust all of the fake news that they hear 24/7 against our favorite president, Donald Trump. They're bombarded with fake news regarding grocery prices, bombarded with fake news regarding immigration, bombarded with fake news regarding all of this money that Donald Trump is spending on the East Wing. I mean, I think you guys are absolutely brainwashed and will believe whatever you're told to believe. And I think a lot of Americans are told to believe grocery prices are up. So that's why they say it is.
All right. That was funny, Dirk. But honestly, seriously.
Well, it's truthful. I mean, I know that stings a little bit because you know it's true, but.
You don't think, for instance, a lot of Americans are outraged about the way Donald Trump is carrying out ICE, these ICE raids and stuff like that? You don't think?
Do I think?
Told to be outraged.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
I think told to be outraged.
So in other words, you don't have a problem with seeing women and children being zip tied and slammed to the ground, correct?
No, not if they're interfering with investigations.
Okay. I mean, here's the difference between me and you. I do.
I know you do, and that's why you lost in a landslide in 2024.
No. Let's not play that game because if we start doing that, we're going to be back to where what happened on Tuesday. So I want to point
You're comparing Tuesday with a national election where you lost in a landslide? You're thinking those are comparable?
No, what I'm saying to you.
No, I agree. They're not comparable.
Dirk, what I'm trying to focus on is you said some of us are brainwashed, right?
Absolutely brainwashed.
And so I'm trying to help you understand. It's not brainwashed.
But you don't have to help me understand. I know this. You're never going to convince me you're not brainwashed.
I know I can't convince you, but at least I can have the conversation, right?
You could try.
Okay. I'm not brainwashed because I personally.
Yes, you are.
Can I say what I need to say?
Go ahead.
All right. And you can calm down. Lower your guard, right? You lower it, all right?
I'm very calm right now. I'm about to jump from this plane. I just got my parachute on. Everything. Life is fantastic right now.
Okay, great. But if I'm talking and then you're interrupting me in the middle of my sentence,
All right, spit it out. Go ahead.
I don't feel like we're having a conversation. I feel like what this is about is like who can pull theirs out and who's got the biggest one. And it's like, come on, bro. This is
Well, am I winning or what?
I haven't. You're not saying anything. You're just
go ahead, spit it out.
Okay,
spit it out. It's easy.
Jesus Christ, bro. Listen, if you want me to, I'll do it. I didn't want to just do the judgment thing, but if that's all this is about, you want me to do it?
What's with the meta, dude? Just make your point.
Okay, we'll try this again. I'm saying, and I'll say this because maybe you don't understand. I don't believe that I'm brainwashed because I don't personally get off on seeing women and children being slammed on the ground by a bunch of random men jumping out of vehicles. So that's not about me being brainwashed. I would actually say that's more about my morals and values. You get what I'm saying?
No, I do get what you're saying. I think you're brainwashed to think that people shouldn't follow national immigration law. There should be no repercussions for breaking immigration law. There should be no repercussions for interfering with federal law enforcement activities. You're brainwashed to think that you could just push ICE officers and block them with your cars, throw bricks at ICE trucks. I mean, you guys are an absolute monolith of zombies who think that immigration law should not be enforced. I mean, it's very obvious.
But Dirk, have you ever heard me say I don't believe immigration laws should be?
So you think people should be deported if they're here illegally? Yes or no?
Let's say it. Can I change it up a little bit to make it more accurate? Because the way
how is what I said in any way misconstrued in any way?
Okay, so
if you're here illegally, you should get deported. Yes or no?
No.
No, okay. So once again, you don't care about immigration law. Like I said, you're brainwashed to think that immigration law has no place in our country. You just said they shouldn't get deported if they're here illegally.
Do you believe a criminal should run the country?
A criminal? I mean, I guess it depends what the crime was. He found as a criminal in a kangaroo court?
Yes or no?
Well, I mean, if you're considering Trump a criminal, then yes. What was he charged with? What was the charge? You don't even know.
No.
I could guarantee you don't even know what the charge was.
Dirk,
go ahead. What are the 34 felonies?
Dirk, I'm playing your game.
Tell us. Educate us.
Dirk, I'm playing your game. I believe that just because a person is in the country illegally, that doesn't mean you should just turn around and deport them. And you said that
I know. That's why you lost in 2024.
I believe I understand this correctly. You believe it's okay for a criminal to run the country. So my question then becomes...
Well, you're considering Trump a criminal, so yes, obviously.
Is he a criminal?
You don't even know what his felonies are for. Let us know. Educate us. What are the 34 felonies for? Yeah.
Falsifying the business records.
Yeah. Give us the facts of the matter. I know that's the charge. What are the facts of the matter?
11 journal entries. I think it was 11 checks, 11 invoices, and 13 journal entries or something like that they found out.
Of what?
Falsifying business records, right?
Yeah. I know you're saying the charge name. What actually happened?
Well, if I could kind of illustrate it in my mind, I believe.
So you don't know.
I believe
anyone who knows will be able to say it in 3 seconds. You're stalling right now.
He had an affair with Stormy Daniels, and he tried to cover it up, and he was paying people to try to cover it up, and Michael Cohen was involved. I've had Michael Cohen.
And that's what you think was illegal? That's what you think the charge was?
I believe the jury looked at the evidence
Wrong.
and they came to a conclusion.
You literally don't know the facts of the case. What you said is incorrect. You understand that?
Dirk.
That's not what he was charged for. You know that. You're allowed to pay somebody. You're allowed to pay somebody to keep quiet. That is not illegal. You understand that, right?
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But for the sake of this show, because we don't got all morning, Donald Trump is a criminal.
Yeah, according to you and the liberal court and the kangaroo court. But American people don't care about that. That's why we overwhelmingly voted for him in 2024.
Dirk? Okay, great. So my question now is, what makes you better than me? If you support a criminal and I support a criminal, what makes you better than me now, right? Because I'm saying,
I mean, there's different levels of criminality.
Okay,
And also, it's not a criminal because it wasn't a criminal case.
No.
It was a civil case.
He's a criminal. I'm not talking about the civil case. That's a completely. But if you want to get into that, that's fraud. I'm talking about the criminal conviction. All right.
Yeah.
That Alvin Bragg, the case Alvin Bragg.
Yeah, and I already said I don't look at all criminals the same way.
I support. Okay, so I support, for instance, someone who's in the country illegally, but they're just.
I know you do.
They're just doing their job. They're going in and out of work.
But that's weird. Before you said you did care. You told me before that you did care. Now you're switching and saying you don't care.
Dirk,
that's funny.
Can you calm down, bro?
I'm very calm.
I just want to ask you, what makes you better than me?
I already told you. There's different levels of criminality. If you're a criminal and you're here illegally in this country, there's a consequence, which is you get deported. It's like the simplest thing in the world that you guys just don't seem to understand.
Well, I'll push back on that in just a second. And then, what if you're a criminal running the country? And so what's the justification for why?
Yeah. So what? Great. So what was his? I'm
not doing.
What was his sentence? What was his sentence?
You know what the judge did.
No, tell me. What was his sentence?
Well, apparently there isn't a sentence.
Yeah, there isn't a sentence. Okay.
Yeah, it was suspended.
Yeah. So the sentence for coming in illegally is deportation. It's that simple.
Okay. So what does that have to do with your position on it, right? Because I could easily say,
I already told you about 8 times.
If
you don't comprehend it, that's a you problem.
If somebody is here in the country, right, and it's a woman and her kids, and their paperwork isn't getting processed as quickly as it should be, because obviously there's backlogs and things like that. But for the most part, they're not committing any crimes. They're just going to and from work. I'm asking you as a man. Why should this person be subjected to being slammed on the ground and zip tied?
Yeah. Well, because in the cases where they're getting slammed to the ground, that's cases where they're resisting arrest from a federal law. Oh, no? Okay, show us an example where we have the full context. Show us the example. You just said no. Show us the example where we have full context.
I can give you an example after.
Go ahead.
All right, but I
Go
don't
ahead.
have all day to do that. But I'm just.
You don't have all day.
Yeah, I'm just.
So you're saying ICE is just walking up to people and slamming them on the ground? That's what you think is happening? Yeah, no, that's not. It's not happening.
But what if it is?
But it's not.
What if it
This is the fantasy world that you guys created.
Dirk, what if it is happening?
Yeah, I would be against that. I think they should go in and they should make the arrest without having to slam them to the ground. Every single case, however, that you guys say they do that, it's them resisting, it's them giving, resisting the handcuffs, they're running away, they're slamming themselves to the ground most of the case. I mean, it's so obvious that they're resisting arrest. And you guys are looking at the end result and go, oh, well, ICE is slamming them on the ground and jumping on top of them. You're trying to get sympathy points. This is an argument from emotion that you guys do.
So, Dirk, I would encourage you to actually get out of your bubble. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen all the videos that you guys sent. I've seen all of them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Every single one they're resisting.
So what we've covered so far is where you stand on terms of morals, and it sounds to me like you haven't done your research to see that there's actually Americans who are being caught up in these ICE so-called raids that they're doing, Midway Blitz. He's gone. All right, well, I guess Dirk Funk, whatever it was, doesn't want to have an honest conversation. See, I could be reasonable, MAGA, but when I start pressing the issue, you see what happens. These people cannot be honest about what's really going on. Everybody has been seeing these videos with ICE agents running around, zip tying women and children. And Dirk gets in here and tries to make it look like, oh no, that's not true. You're brainwashed. No, Dirk, that's not how this works. So what I'll do is this, Dirk. Obviously, you don't want to look at reality the way that it is, but I'll continue to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send that last guest, Dirk, where he belongs, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
I mean, it's always the same story with MAGA. It's like, why can't we just have serious back and forth conversations about what's really going on in the country? I wouldn't have to bash Donald Trump if y'all would just be honest with Big Zeus. If you all, and it's always the fragile white male's ego. at play. Oh, is Donald Trump a criminal? Yes or no? Because if you want to get into the technicalities, I could honestly, and I could have done it, but I didn't want to waste time. Tara. I didn't want to waste time. I could say, well, I don't know if those people who you are saying are in the country illegally, I don't know if they really got a fair shake at justice. And it's perhaps them. Maybe they're the victims of a kangaroo court. And we could go back and forth about all of those things, but I don't got time. No, get to the point. If you believe they're a criminal or, and you don't want to entertain what I'm saying, then okay, it's not hard for you to imagine this person being a criminal. But for some strange reason, the fragile white males that support Donald Trump have a very, very difficult time understanding he's a criminal. And we're brainwashed? Yeah, right. You need to go get a reality check. All right? W Zeus. All right. I don't got it's so easy to deal with these people. I mean, they don't have much to offer the American people. Good morning, Antonia. How are you doing?
Oh, can you hear me? Or is there a lot of background noise?
I can hear you a little bit.
All right, sorry, I'm at the gym.
Oh, you're at the gym.
I wonder.
Well,
if,
you can say what you gotta say. We'll work with it.
Yeah. I want to know if Dirk's throat hurts from all that bootlicking, because if the Republicans take away health care, he's not going to be able to get treatment for that. Also, that girl Rose, Angela should have. It's loud. Let me see if I could take my headphones off and see if that fixes the problem.
Yeah, it is a little loud, but maybe we
better?
got to get you. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so Rose is saying things. Did she finish at Trump U to be talking about that he is bringing down prices? Their MAGA math is incredible, that he was the better option. She's talking about communism and socialism. Did she ever take a civics class? Does she know the definitions? Because those are polar opposites. And she's talking about stealing from the rich. What percentage does Elon Musk pay in federal taxes?
Go ahead, Antonia. Get her, Antonia.
I'm pretty sure none of us pay 0.002% in federal taxes like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, who doesn't pay anything. All we want is them to pay the same proportional taxes the rest of us pay to have these social programs. These are not free programs. These are our tax dollars that go into the federal government that come back to us into social programs. SNAP benefits, these people pay taxes. They deserve those taxes back into social programs. This is not free. When did we as a society start falling on our knees and begging billionaires to take money away from us? When did we start supporting reverse Robin Hood?
Yeah, MAGA. When did you start supporting basically your own self-destruction, right? That's pretty much what it is.
The prices are not coming down. Prices are going up. I had dinner with friends last night who have little kids and are now freaking out because the cost of electricity has gone up. Everything has gone up. They don't know, and they're very successful people. They don't know how they're going to make it by. We're sitting there ordering off the menu the cheapest things to split because they're penny pinching to make sure they have enough to provide for their children. And they're telling us prices are going down? Where? On planet Cuckoo?
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking to them, and as you can see, they don't have answers. All they have is their little, they call it, I guess, they're trying to come up here and make people upset and get them, take it down, but we're not falling for it, right?
And Rose is not in the middle. Nobody in the middle would be supporting Trump, who all he has done is destroying the economy in 10 months. She said Gen X or Gen Z wants everything for free. They have the highest unemployment right now at 9%. They can't get jobs. They're freaking out because they have student loans and they cannot get a job. Nobody wants anything for free. People just want their fair share. They want millionaires and billionaires who make these millions and billions off of our backs to provide the same that we do.
Thank you. I completely agree. And for them to try to skirt around it and try to act like it's anything but that, it just shows to me how desperate these folks really are.
And I saw Dr. Keisha comment. Dr. Keisha knows that if we went to a one-payer system, Medicare for all, healthcare costs would actually be less than they are right now, because most costs in healthcare is administrative. It's not the physicians, and it's not the nurses, it's not the MAs, it's actually the administration to help fight for people's care, to help fight insurance pay for things, for pre-certification. And guess what? When people can't get care and go last minute when their full-blown cancer, their diabetes is out of control, their high blood pressure is out of control, that costs us a lot of money, costs that person a lot of money. So if we had Medicare for all in a one-payer system and let people get care before they are destitute and are so ill it's going to cost them thousands of dollars, we would be in a better place. Why have these people fallen for billionaires instead of trying to find a way to make society happy? We should all live amongst each other happily and prosperous.
Yeah. Well,
why do we want Why do we want Elon Musk making $1 trillion? And that moron Dirk, oh, we're getting tariffs. We're getting taxed out of our butts.
Yeah. Why,
and where's the
MAGA?
money?
Why?
Where's the money going? Why do we need to be taxed without representation? Where's the money going? Why is there money for SNAP? Why don't they want subsidies for healthcare? Where's our money?
Yeah.
That's our money. That tax money is our money. Where's our money?
Tell them.
I would rather that mom buy her kid cupcakes than Jeff Bezos getting another mansion. I want that kid to get a meal.
Tell them.
I just don't know what happened to these people. I just really don't know that he's a representation of all of us. She's sitting there screaming about Mom Don. First of all, every other country in the world taxes the rich more than we do. They're not leaving here. Wow. They leave the United States, they're going to get taxed at 40%. Look at Denmark, where people are happy and prosperous. They're taxed at 40%, have healthcare for all, have childcare, have education, and we're sitting here and having people work 2 to 3 jobs just to get their kids childcare. 2 to 3 jobs and in debt so they can pay their student loans.
Wow.
And you're worried about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and whoever leaving? They're not leaving. They're not leaving because no other country's going to, every other country's going to tax them by more than 50%. And we taxed Elon Musk by 0.002% of his wealth. Hell, when I made $8.25 an hour, I wasn't taxed at 0.002%.
Me either. And that $8, that was good. You know, I started out minimum wage. I was making $5 an hour, and trust me, I was getting taxed out the wazoo. I was angry about that.
And if you looked at Rose's explanation of where she's traveled, did you see what places she picked? She picked Cuba, a dictatorship, where people live off of little coupons on what they can eat. And then she says Africa. She didn't talk about Europe or Asia or the two. Why did she pick those 2 places? And she didn't say Africa and distinct countries in Africa.
Right,
she said the whole continent of Africa. So why was that a choice of hers?
Inquiring minds want to know. You know what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She's trying to, lean into some identity politics stuff, but we're not going to let her get away with it.
Just in 10 months, he's destroyed our economy. In 10 months.
Wow.
We have a worse consumer confidence in over 20 years. What was 20 years ago? The Great Recession.
Wow.
There is a lower consumer confidence than we had during C-19. We came out of C-19 as the envy of the world. Our economy was booming. People were going back to work. People were spending. They were traveling. Airports were full. You couldn't find flights to go somewhere. And now people don't know how to afford their kids.
Wow.
You have people who have set up food pantries in their yards. In their yards, people are setting up food pantries. And Dirk, I'm not going to swear. I live in Chicago. ICE is tackling people for nothing. They had a school shut down in the suburbs yesterday, and the kids were scared because ICE was going around tackling people and taking them and ripping them off the streets. There's people in neighborhoods who are shoving people in their homes to protect them.
I've seen it, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen it.
So I don't know where these people are watching stuff and what Delulu land they live in, but they are pulling people off the street. And when's the last time people were hiding people in their homes so the Gestapo didn't take them?
Get them. Tell them, Antonia. You know.
When we had the Schnazis on the street ripping people out. We have
Bingo.
people hiding people in their homes.
And this is embarrassing. These people get up here and they act like it's a-okay to do this stuff, and they'll say, "Oh, Antonia, you're brainwashed." Are you brainwashed?
No, I have a brain.
Thank you.
I have a synapse that creates thoughts.
Antonia. Well, listen, we're gonna move it on, my friend. All right, but keep up the great work at the gym. All right, I might have to bring you back up here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Antonia a huge round of applause. Who was this right here? I want to talk to you. Come on up here real quick. This might be a good conversation. So what does it mean? So you do see news from Chicago? I do see some news from Chicago. Alter ego. That's a good question. Who is this lady that I said? She says, where is she at? I saw some dissension in the comments section. All right, maybe they're gone. Let me see. Where are they at? There you go. I want to make sure. If you're a Trump supporter, go ahead and send me a request, and I'll bring you up here. All right, and we'll try to do this in the easy way in terms of getting you to unpack what's really going on inside of your minds. All right, hold on. There. You know what? I can't even find you anymore. I guess the mods took. Oh yeah, Kay Elaine, come on up here. It's just you and me. I just sent you an invite, Kay Elaine. Come on up here. Come talk to Big Zeus. You think what we're talking about is complete BS, and I'm assuming you're supporting Donald Trump still, and maybe you haven't heard the news, but your rights are on the chopping block. All right, they want to take away your right to vote, and you know what that means. That means pretty soon I won't even have to worry about the conservative women's voice, because guess what? Donald Trump is going to make it a situation where your vote doesn't count, because what he's saying is they don't trust you to make the right decision. And that's seriously something you're going to have to come to grips with. One way or another, we're going to get to the bottom of what's really going on with you, all right? Let's see. Who do we have here? User, good morning, user. How are you? Good morning, user. How are you? I'd imagine that was an accident. All right, it doesn't take long to do that. Let's see. Who do we got? Vanessa Jackson, good morning. How are you? Wow. Golden Child, are you there? W Cruz. I guess Golden Child is busy, all right, at the register. I heard that. All right, let's go ahead and bring up my brother Swerve. And all right, good morning, brother Swerve. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, my friend. I'm a little heated right now, but I'm okay.
Uh-oh. Is everything okay?
Well, SSDI just denied me for a third time. So I'm a little heated about that. But, I'm watching these folks go through and the ratchety comments going through. People don't seem to understand. Like Donald Trump, you played a clip earlier where Donald Trump was talking about how our inflation was sitting a little bit above 1%. You need a little bit of it. You can easily Google search this, and you can find Nobel laureate economists who have said our inflation is sitting at 2.9 or 3% right now. It was 2.4 when President Biden left office. So now it's going up. They still sit there and deny it. And for Dirk, being the idiot he is, along with Rose, sitting there talking about, well, my eggs, you can go to eggprices.org and nobody eat eggs 4 times a day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nobody does it. Nobody does it. We're talking about other groceries, milk that we're having to pay enormous amounts of money for, beef that we're having to pay enormous amounts of money for.
Facts.
And then you have Donald Trump, who gave $40 billion to Argentina, and then is going to turn around and buy 800 metric tons of beef from them, causing the cattle ranchers, this will drive the price down. No, it's going to drive the price down, and it's going to buy them out of their own market.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not going to be able to sell their product. Okay, this is like Val said, you don't have to be an economist major to understand these things. Our unemployment is going up. Major companies across the country have announced record layoffs. including Amazon, UPS, FedEx. They've announced these major layoffs,
WG, man.
right?
Right.
And they just sit here. Thank you for the hammer, G. I appreciate that, brother. You know, that G, man, I got to tell you, that brother's been on point these past few days.
WG, man, he learns a lot from all of us, and you know, it's conversations like this, so that's a testament. Woo!
Oh crap, we got a dancing bear.
WG, man.
All right, I never seen one of those before. But so
you're loved. You're loved.
I appreciate that. I really do, guys and girls. Thank you so very much. So I'm sitting here listening to Dirk, and he's like, what was he convicted of? Fraud. That's what he was convicted of. Fraud. Got convicted on 34 counts, and then the judge discharged the conviction so he could go on and be president. This is no big secret. It was fraud that got him his 34 felony convictions. Wasn't anything else. Okay? And when they sit there and say, well, nobody else has ever been convicted of this. Over 10,000 people in the state of New York have been convicted of the very thing that Donald Trump was convicted of. Thank you, Itchy.
Wow, you're famous, bro.
So it amazes me when they sit here and go, no, nobody else has ever been convicted of this. Donald Trump is not the first person to commit fraud in the state of New York.
Right.
And yeah, tiny tank top, testicle, turkey neck, Tom, it was felony fraud because he committed that fraud while in the commission of another crime, which makes it a felony. But y'all don't care about that. Then you want to sit here and say, well, immigrants that came to this country illegally, our law gives them 365 days to claim asylum. Our law has said they have a right to a court hearing. And we have actually seen immigrants coming out of their court hearings being detained and picked up by ICE. Yeah. So if they're not, we have Schrodinger's immigrant here. Mm-hmm. They're either coming over here, according to MAGA, they're coming over here stealing our jobs. They're coming over here, but you know, they're still in our jobs yet. I don't know how you can steal a job from someone that never applied for it. Yeah. Number two, they're not doing things the right way, but we see people getting arrested or detained by ICE as they come out of their court hearing. So, okay, so they're not doing it the right way. Okay. And three, you want to sit here and say that they're sucking up all the money off the federal teat when it comes to healthcare concerns and this, that. You can go thank Ronald Reagan. I think it was called the Ulta Law or something like that. He's the one that said every emergency room will treat anybody that goes in there just like they would you, MAGA, if you had no healthcare insurance, right? They would still treat you, right? So we have immigrants who cannot partake in our federal system, and somehow they're stealing all this money from the federal system while putting tax dollars back into it, over $100 billion a year. But they sit there and complain. And I want to give a shout out to my co-hostess, who I don't know if she's still in here, but you had us both messed up this morning, Zeus.
Who?
When you came on live, I thought I'd slept through a whole doggone weekend. I was like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Because I've been having to do like light shows and then out, and I just felt like, you know, plus you don't want to let up on the momentum, right? Because that's what they want. They want us to take our foot off the gas and just, you know, oh, we won and we were doing good. We don't got nothing to worry about. No, we have to address the immediate threat that's going on in this country right now.
Exactly.
There's an immediate threat, and it's coming from this guy, this administration.
And here's why I wanted to bring up my co-host, is Twilight Goddess, if she's still in here. She came about 2 weeks ago. She came up with a very good question, because MAGA is always sitting there going, it's not the government's job to take care of you. Okay, what is their job? What is the government's job? We pay all these federal tax dollars. Thank you, socialism.
Yeah.
To pay their salaries. They get a starting salary of $174,000 a year. That's their starting salary. Then they vote themselves in a pay raise, Democrats and Republicans both. Then they turn around and vote themselves an extra stipend, a $30,000 a year stipend for travel.
Wow.
How much more money do they need? But then you want to sit here and say, well, it's not their job to take care of you. It is absolutely their job to take care of us.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that is their job.
Yeah.
So you can miss me. You can miss me with this garbage about it's not their job to feed your kids and make sure you have a job. It absolutely is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when unemployment in this country starts going up for the first time, I believe, in our nation's history, we have more unemployed people than we have jobs in this country. Okay. This is the ridiculousness that MAGA will sit there and go, well, it's not the government's job to take care of your kids, even though they've only worked about 25 days this year, and we're paying them $174,000 to do it.
Wow.
And Dirk sitting here like the brainwashed clown that he is,
Wow.
sitting there going, "Oh, just because you flipped a seat, Democrats this past Tuesday flipped seats that have been red for almost 100 years. They flipped them because people are fed up and tired with the spineless, coward Republicans who won't do anything to push back against this agenda. And you have the Speaker of the House sitting there on television talking about, well, I don't know if it's my job as Speaker of the House to push back on this agenda. But everything Donald Trump's doing is out in the open, whereas Joe Biden did all this stuff behind the scenes. And,
Wow.
we got all that crime. But you can't prove that crime. And two, you absolutely are the biggest system of checks and balances on the executive branch. And three, if you don't know that's your job, you should not be sitting in that chair.
Amen.
Pure, plain, simple, period, point blank. And this is what aggravates me about them, Zeus. They want to sit here like I was listening to Dirk. Dirk wanted to sit here, and every time you tried to say something, he just opened his mouth. And I promise you, that jabroni, that MAGA bicho, there is no way in hell he was sitting on an aircraft getting ready to jump out of it.
Yeah, he was.
I don't care. I don't care how good your noise canceling headphones are. You're up in a hollow airplane, okay, and you can hear everything that's going on. It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel, and I can speak on that because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've jumped out of the back of Cessnas or the side of a Cessna. I've jumped out of the back of C-130s. And you can hear everything that's going on. So the fact that he sat up there and just told that basic lie, it should tell you how brainwashed and delusional he is. Yeah. And when we say Donald Trump was convicted of this, the E. Jean Carroll, he's an adjudicated assayer.
Yeah.
He's an adjudicated fraudster. He's a snake oil salesman. And all he wanted to do was sit there and say, well, that's not what happened. You don't know, blah, blah, blah. And okay, but you don't want to admit it, and you call us brainwashed. This is what's funny to me about them. And it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
But stop and ask yourself, I want even MAGA, ask yourself, what is the job of our government? What is their job? To make sure we have roads, to make sure we have adequate air transportation, which the NTSB just announced flights are going down 20% in this country.
Wow.
We just had a severe plane crash in a Kentucky facility. I think it was a UPS plane.
Yep.
Okay. We keep having all these things happen, and the NTSB said finally, okay, we can't handle all these aircraft. We need to scale back flights 20%.
Yeah.
Those airliners are going to lose money. The people flying them, they're not going to be able to get to where they're going. We got one of the busiest travel holidays coming up. People are going to start getting laid off from there because the planes can't fly. The planes flying is what makes the money.
Ray, she said it didn't crash. Ray, the plane did crash. I don't know what planet you're on, but the plane crashed.
I mean, that was one of the worst non-plane disasters I've ever seen. You had 7 or 12, 13 buildings taken out. Okay, 11 people lost their lives at present count. 11 or 15 people have lost their lives at present count, but that wasn't a crash. Yeah, good job, Ray. See, and Ray, prime example of the brainwashing that goes on.
Yeah.
So with that, Zeus, again, I appreciate you having me up as always, my brother.
Up, brother. All right, and as always, it's good to hear from you. And keep up the good work. All right, don't give up out there. All right, keep fighting. All right.
Oh, we still fighting a good fight. Believe me. We had Women's Wednesday. We had our Veterans Clubhouse on Thursday, and Friday we had the Fascist Funhouse, where we spent 2 hours roasting RFK.
Yeah.
Go look into some of the things. We have a Listeria and E. coli outbreak in this country right now.
Wow.
Has anybody heard anything about it?
I have not heard it. It's too much. Yeah. There's too much bad news to keep up with, and that's why we have to keep talking. All right, because if we don't talk about it, it's going to get swept under the rug. I'm pretty sure.
Zeus, there's an organization out there known as FERN, the Federal Emergency Response Network. And these are the ones that track these outbreaks like E. coli, Listeria, stuff like that. And they analyze it, they break it down, and they say, we need to put this out. That department is gone.
Wow.
That's why, and RFK got rid of them. Wow. And that's why nobody knows about these things. So really do your due diligence with the food that you're buying. Make sure it's cooked properly. Make sure it's washed properly. All of those things. Do all the things when it comes to your food, because right now our food our food supply chains are not being protected anymore. So, but hey, listen, to all of you beautiful tiny people living in the kingdom and in my telephone, I hope you all have a great weekend. Zeus, as always, my brother, thank you for letting me up. And everyone, please be well, be safe, and doggone it, have fun while you do it.
All right.
W Swerve in the chat.
Brother
Thanks
Swerve,
again, Zeus.
no problem. No lies detected. All right. Wow, what an incredible show, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Alwyn Hughes, you said so many Democrats are unemployed and can only protest. If you don't mind, Alwyn, why don't you come on up here and explain to Big Zeus real quick. I don't have all weekend to do this. I want to know what you meant when you said that, because I want to know where that energy is at for Donald Trump, who just all of a sudden left Washington, D.C. and went to Mar-a-Lago and partied on the taxpayers' dollars. Could you come on up here and explain that to Big Zeus? All right, because what we don't want to do is allow you to go another day on this planet. For instance, we don't want you to be this to be another day where you're running around here saying ignorant things like that. All right, so why don't you come on up here? I think I'm lagging, ladies and gentlemen. There's something seriously wrong. All right, there's something seriously wrong. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, Q Dog. Are you there?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, it's glitching for me too. I can see it. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, it's glitching a little bit, but we gonna get through it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted that Dirk guy.
Dirk.
I hope he's still in the chat. Bring him back up. I got some questions to ask.
Dirk.
Don't get scared now, Dirk.
I don't see Dirk.
Bring your simpleton behind back up here.
Dirk has left the building, unfortunately. All right.
So my question to Dirk, since he wants to talk about the immigrants and whatnot, and we know what type of immigrants he was talking about. Let's just have a conversation about looking back in his history and see if his mama was an immigrant or his mama's mama was an immigrant, and how he would feel if ICE came in and smashed her upside the wall or on the concrete.
Yeah.
It's real funny when you talk about real smooth talking and all off the tongue, real smooth when you talk about people of color being detained by ICE and coming into the United States the right way. Let's talk about your people, Dirk.
Yeah, Dirk.
Let's have a conversation about your ancestors, Dirk. And if they came into the United States the right way. You know, it's amazing how they forget and they quick to say, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, this, that, and the other. But let's have a conversation about how they talk about the SNAP benefits. You know, Jesus fed so many people with 5 loaves and 2 fish.
I remember.
Just look it up. Matthew 14 through 21. Mark 6, 30 through 44. Luke 9, 10 through 17. John 6, 5 through 14. Y'all talk about y'all read the Bible, but y'all really don't read the Bible. Y'all really don't believe that y'all Christians. Y'all just playing the funk and faking the funk. This whole way. Just like Trump. He faking like he's the president. He ain't no president. He ain't no leader.
No.
He's a dictator.
Yeah.
And he's trying to dictate how many people that he can take the money out of their mouths, the people's money out of their children's mouths.
Amen.
And build something that has nothing to do with us, which we would never step foot in. We still ain't heard no more about the Golden Dome, because he's thinking that I got 4 years, I got 2 years to do what I want to do, you know, on the low level. Okay, then we'll go to the next level, the next 2 years, the total of 4 years, and then maybe by 2028, I can be back in the office again. It's a lot of wishing and thinking that he has, but it ain't gonna happen. We already proved how powerful we are just a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he wins, if hopefully we settle this, I'm looking forward to real justice. I want everybody in the Trump administration to simply be held accountable for their crimes, right? That's what this is all about now, and to get this country back on track.
Oh yeah, Mike Johnson's shaking in his boots.
Yeah.
He's shaking in his boots. Oh, if the Democrats get back in office, they're gonna unwind everything that we put together. No, you scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we get back in office and get back in control,
yep,
it's going to be a lot of slow slinging and flower bringing when it comes to folks that's going to be locked up in prison and everything. Yeah, it's coming down the pipe. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. So get your popcorn ready, MAGA.
Yeah.
Because you are the actual show that's coming up.
Bingo.
You're going to be the star of this show. Yeah. See, all y'all that's out there talking about people getting SNAP benefits, y'all know if y'all had an opportunity to even get SNAP benefits, you'd be in Walmart and Kroger's and everywhere else buying up anything you want. But because you don't have it in your hands, you got a problem with folks that do get it. See, it's a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with, I pay taxes. You pay taxes. When have you paid tithes? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because there's many ways that people pay tithes. You know, Jesus, he tore up the temple. He tore up the temple when folks that wanted to be in there, the den of thieves. They want to be in there selling goods and whatnot, just like Trump selling Bibles and everything.
Tell them.
Let's talk about that.
They don't want to talk about
He's doing everything ungodly in the temples, in front of the temples, but you ain't got a problem with that. But you got a problem with people wanting to feed their family.
What a disgrace. Yeah, this is why a lot of these Trump voters, and I've been saying it on my show, and they know it. You're going to go straight to hell. I really firmly believe this, Q-Dog. A lot of them won't be around to vote come midterms because everything Trump is doing right now is designed to make sure they basically self-destruct, and it'll be no fault but their own.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
See, I'm that disciple like Peter. I'll curse you out and pray for you all in the same breath, because God ain't finished with me yet.
Amen.
But you demons that have no couth about yourself. That you willing to take a piece of chicken out of a baby's hand just to appease your own inner being. That make you feel like a big man. Dirk, the one that, I don't care if it's children or women. You are the scum of the earth, and you can never call yourself a real man.
No.
See, it's folks like you that's out there that don't mind doing anything to any woman, child, or people that are less fortunate than you. But let it happen to your mama. Let it happen to your mama. You ready to raise hell.
Bingo.
Where you at, Dirk? Where you at?
They're not here. Well,
you real quiet. Tiny Tank Top Tim, you still in the chat.
Sad.
33, you still in the chat. Y'all are some weak men. Y'all weak. I said it.
Wow.
A grown man right here saying it. You are a weak man.
You talk to Q-Dog about it if you got an issue, because he's not fearing of anything like that. So, and you can help him out, find out where their weaknesses are. Is that right?
You gotta come. You gotta come correct. You gotta come correct. And I'm saying it with all my chest. See, today I'm 23 years in Omega Psi Phi, crossing the burning sands. I know what real men look like. Where are you at? Real men take care of the women. Real men take care of the children. Real men take care of the elderly.
That part.
All you care about is taking care of yourself. And that's the reason why you're in the position that you in. Tiny Tank Top Tim making $25,000 a year. A grown man pushing 60 years old can't even take care of your woman.
That's too much, Q, dog. That's too much, bro. You hurting them now. Please, Q, don't hurt them no more.
You know,
Don't hurt them
Zeus.
no more, Q, dog.
I call him as I see him. You wonder why
That's too
MAGA
harsh.
Queen, aka Megatron, ain't in here now.
That's too harsh,
Her
bro.
her own man can't take care of her.
Oh, y'all stop out there in the comments
So
section.
let's talk
Don't
about
do that.
where is Red Lady Red?
Oh,
She don't even have a man to take care of her.
Oh, no, Q, dog. Please don't do that, Q, dog. That's too
Oh,
much.
I'm going in with all 4 feet today. I'm going in all 4 feet. Omega Psi Phi to our unalive. I'm going in on all you MAGA maggots. Where you at? Where you at?
That's sad.
The real men stand up.
Oh.
Stand up, men. Where you at?
That's hard. That's harsh. That's harsh, ladies.
I challenge you to manhood.
Oh, God.
I know what manhood looks like. Zeus knows what manhood looks like.
I represent it every day. Yeah, but you know, you're oh my God, W's in the chat for Q dog. Listen, bro, I gotta get up out of here. We cooked and we booked this morning, all right. But as always, I appreciate you.
Always.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my brother Q dog. Wow, wow, wow! What an amazing show, weekend special. I want to give all of you a huge. Somebody said the host is weak. Come on up here, DJ T. Come on up here real quick. You want to come up here and say that to me? W. Kabira. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. We pulled off the impossible. Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to wrap it up. No. I really will be off tomorrow, but I really honestly want to thank all of you who are a part of this conversation. Oh, there you go. Kimberly, come on up here. Kimberly, I'll make an exception for you, Kimberly. It's just you and I, one-on-one. I really want to know who the person is behind this account. You say Q Dog is weak too. I seriously don't believe you know what you've just said. But if you really want to say something like that, I have no problem facilitating a connection, perhaps. All right. I used to be the love guru. Kimberly, and maybe this isn't really hate. Maybe this is a strange way of loving somebody. You might be obsessed with Q Dog, but if not Marsha, but Kimberly, if you would accept that guest request, it would really, really mean a lot to Big Zeus. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I used to be the love guru. I know a little thing. And the first thing, Kimberly, I would ask you is to turn on your camera. All right? Yeah, turn on your camera and then tell us about yourself a little bit. What you do for a living, perhaps, stuff like that. And then we'll go from there. And if I feel like it's a good fit, you and Q Dog, I'll make it happen. All right. But in the meantime, in between time, I got to get up out of here. W's in the chat for all of you. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Right, Ange? We were about to get her, but she didn't want to come up. All right, because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is. Entertaining, incredible, and definitely engaging. But I also got to give one last round of booze and shame. And you know exactly who this goes out to. And it goes out to all the Zeus haters. Nothing else left to say. Gotta get out of here. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning. All right. Keep up the great work.
Yeah. Gotta wake the chain up. Get injected with some power.
Have a great rest of your morning. We did that.
Level up like a king.
They don't like it when I
came from the trenches. Now we ballin' at the top. Whistler energy, presidential. Watch the odds. Drip too saucy, got the fit hitting real different. 1600 on the throne, out here looking brilliant. No skitty, I'm the go full sharper than a blade. For attacks, make these clowns pay for all the shade. Bustin' moves, no mid, got the game in a choke. Eat it together, find my legacy, hitting disc scope. From the Bay to DC, I keep them on their toes. Level up with the blueprint, watch the empire grow. Ghosted all the fakes, now my circle A1. Moving 100 in, this race is already won. Bet I'm dripping, got the power, vision crystal clear. Thick with ambition, yeah, making history right here. Ops talking wild, but they cannot touch the throne. Posted in the Oval Office, trapping in the zone. Skirt past the hate, got my foot on the gas. I'm bulletproof, yeah, my aura, yeah, built to last. Slack with the plan, moving chestnut checkers. Presidential flex, got my game on my necklace. Level up, we take
Have a great weekend, G-Man. Thank you, everyone.
Get it poppin', we ain't gon' never stop. No cap, we live, yeah. Flow on 1,000, 100, 1,605. Presidential, we found it on posted in the Capitol. Moving like I own the block. Riz game, presidential, got the nation in the lock. Got the image, yeah, 100, no facade. Drip celestial, shining brighter than the star. Bet I'm calling shots, got the vision, HD clear. With the blues, turn the dreams into chandeliers. Ops stay lurking, but they folding under all the pressure. 1600, I'm the one flexing, I'm the new successor. Back in legacy,
have a great rest of your morning.
a new crown, trap soul in the White House. DC is the town. Woke up in the mansion, views from the East Wing. Prime residential, got the poles in climb. No cap, I'm the vibe, came to calm in the storm. Got the globe, dropping bombs like I'm reading out a song. Ops trying to glitch, but my code is unbreakable. Skibidi through the storm, legacy unshakable. Coming through the air, got the city in my grip.
Hey,
make the whole world flip. Busting off the charts, got the game in a trance. Drip too, baby, yeah, make you wanna dance. Level up, we taking over the spot. Drip too clean, get it poppin', we ain't gon' never stop. No cap, we lit, yeah, flow on 1,000, 100, 1,605. Presidential, we